Tustin Tillers haven't won a CIF championship since 1948. In the 90s, the Irvine Vaqueros won 3 of them. Tonight, both teams take one step closer to a CIF final. Hi, everybody. I'm Paul Higgins, along with Bill Cunardy, and welcome to the game of the week. Tonight, the Tustin Tillers taking on the Irvine Vaqueros in a CIF semifinal game. And, Bill, when you talk about these two teams, everyone's excited about the matchup. Of course, the Tustin Tillers, with their double wing formation, they only have 6 plays, 4 of them running, 2 of them passing. How do you stop them?
Well, they're averaging 61 points a game. I think they're doing pretty well with this. Watching them on film and watching them in person, this is one of the physically most talented teams that I've seen. I don't know if you do stop them. I think the Irvine idea is slow them down a little bit because Irvine can score some points themselves.
Tustin is 11-1 on the year. Their only loss to Servite. On the other hand, the Irvine Vaqueros undefeated at 12-0. They are primed and ready. Is Coach Hennigan nervous about stopping this Tustin Tiller team?
Well, I think he is. When I talked to him here the other day, you know, he's coaching the offensive side. He said J.C. Clark will come up with a plan. Right. He'll have a good defensive plan. But Terry's concern was, how do you move the ball against these guys? And I'm looking at number 5, Matt McCoy. When you see this guy play, he will be this year's version of Matt Grudegood. He is a tremendous player, and defensively, the Tillers really come after you.
Well, we'll talk about Matt McCoy in just a second. These are the players to watch. Again, 4 players tonight that we have chosen, 2 with the Tustin Tillers. The quarterback, David Miller, he is the coach's son.
Well, he's also scored 1480 on the SAT. He is a very, very sharp young man who obviously gets to study the offense every night at home.
You talked about him, Bill, and the guy on defense that everyone's looking at is Matt McCoy. Look at 18 solo tackles, 55 assisted, 19 sacks, though.
That's the number that would scare me as a quarterback, 19 sacks. And honestly, the times I've watched him, no one has blocked him.
Right. Irvine Vaqueros, they bring out some outstanding backs, and one of the backs we'll see tonight is Godfrey Young.
Well, we watched Godfrey score 5 touchdowns in a game here a couple weeks ago. He's a guy that must break a seam somewhere and score from long range.
On the other side of the ball with the Irvine Vaqueros, tackling tonight, hopefully making a lot of tackles, is Andy Howe. He has 49 assisted, 49 solo tackles, and Bill, 3.5 sacks, but that doesn't tell you exactly what about this player.
Well, tonight, what Andy's going to have to do tonight is be a quick flow defender, meaning that once he sees the sweep, you must get it at the line of scrimmage, because if you don't get it there, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, you know, it's all down to this game, and the weather is not going to have any factor. It gets foggy this time of year. We might see the fog. A little bit about the passing game. Are we going to see a passing game on either side of the ball? More so, I would assume, with the Irvine Vaqueros.
Well, the Tiller passing game is more by surprise. They're going to get you to defend the sweep and the counter and the trap, and they're going to throw more to keep you off balance. Nobody has really run the ball against Tustin, so I think Irvine tonight may come out in 2 tight ends. You know they're going to spread the field and try and throw, but I think that's what their plan will be.
As you said, they average 61 points a game. That's the Tustin Tillers. Tonight, the job on the other side of the ball for the Irvine Vaqueros to stop the running game. When we come back, we'll have more of the Family Honda pregame show and get this thing started from Irvine High School. It's CIF football right here on the Game of the Week.
This is my father Luigi, and together we own and operate Ristorante Agostino and Cocktail Bar in Capistrano Beach. We specialize in pasta, seafood, veal, and chicken. And if you're looking for Italian food like Mama used to make, come see Papa Luigi at Agostino's. We're located in Capistrano Beach, 1 mile south of Dana Point Harbor on Pacific Coast Highway. If you're looking for Italian food like Mama used to make, come see Papa Luigi at Agostino's. Right, Dad?
Yeah, what are you waiting for? How many ways can you save family?
It's all about family at the second happiest place on earth.
And welcome back to the Game of the Week. The Tustin Tillers taking on the Irvine Vaqueros. Let's go downstairs where they're having the opening coin toss.
Your CIF officiating crew for this evening is Mr. Dyson, Mr. Osborne, Mr. Encinas, and Mr. Rogers. All right, Mr. Umpire, step up, please. Young stud, you're the visitor. This is a football coin, heads, tails. You'll call it in the air. You'll tell me what you call. If I drop it, we'll do it again. What do you call? And it's tails. It's your choice. Okay, you want the ball, correct?
Correct.
What goal do you want to defend?
We want to defend that goal.
Put your back down there. Put your back to your goal. Okay, shake hands. Bring your teams out. You got about 2 minutes.
Well, there it is. They'll waste little time in exposing the Tustin Tillers offense because Irvine won the coin toss. They decided to defer. They'll get the ball in the second half. Peter Abe, one of the captains out there with the Irvine Vaqueros. So we'll see Tustin with the ball first. And Bill, that should be exciting. It's always good. I think it's the norm now to defer. We'll talk about that in a second on the coin toss. But right now, let's go back down to the field and check in with Bobby.
Thanks, Paul. When I spoke with Coach Miller of the Tustin Tillers earlier this week, I asked him about the keys for tonight's game. He said defensively for them, they must align correctly. And the reason why this is a concern is, he said, because Irvine has a lot of sophisticated formations, which Tustin has not seen yet this year. And he said that could cause some missed assignments. So he said if they align correctly, they feel they'll be fine on defense. Offensively, they must execute and push Irvine off the line of scrimmage. That line of scrimmage will be a battle tonight. That was a concern Terry Hennigan had of the Irvine Vaqueros. He said Tustin is physical, and Irvine must be able to hang physically with them in order to win this game. He said Irvine is fired up, though. They're really focused. They respect this team. And he said if the Vaqueros do not come out on top of this game, it's just because Tustin is a better team. And he didn't know whether or not who would be better coming into this game. But by the end of tonight, they will know. Back up to you.
Thanks a lot, Bobby. In customary fashion, it's Myron Miller in his short pants, and he wears shorts like James Covarrubias, our stats man, in whatever weather it holds. And tonight, it should be a pretty good weather-wise game, but the fog will set in. It's already starting to come in. The other night, Monday night, I know it was really, really deep in the fog, and we had foggy conditions all day today. And the reason I mention that, Bill, if it does get foggy, it's a little tough to pass sometimes unless it's all time mean patterns and you're throwing rainbows to your receivers.
That's right. I think it would favor Tustin if the weather conditions change. But the field is in great shape for the 13th game of the year. And I think this is going to be a Titanic, Paul. I think it's going to be a great, great game.
So it is Tustin and Irvine. Irvine kicking off a short kick. It will be taken on the 9-yard line. So Tustin Tillers already have pretty good field position brought up there by number 32, and that's Marquez Malcolm. So Malcolm takes it up, and this is a look at Tustin's offensive starters, averaging 61 points a game. Miller and Diaz in the backfield. And these are the meat. The receivers, of course, the tight ends, they don't pass a whole lot. The wingback Chester, but this is the real people up there. It's the linemen. They take plenty of punishment, and they open up some huge holes, and they work tremendously hard. It's a repetition type offense, and we'll see it as Miller will be the quarterback, and he wears number 1. His dad, of course, Myron Miller, the head coach, in his 6th year at Tustin High School. They were in a championship game back in 1997, and one of the most spectacular high school football games ever played. And getting outside quickly is number 28, and that's Miller. Richard Miller knocked out of bounds close to the 40-yard line of the Irvine Vaqueros, but that's exactly what they do, and they were a little bit afraid of that, the Irvine Vaqueros were. We'll take a look at them on defense. And Bill, as always, they do have a big chore when you play Tustin. We've seen the linemen, and they have done a good job so far this year with the Irvine Vaqueros. Of course, they are 12-0. The defensive back, Howe and Now. The defensive back,
Howe Now.
And then the defensive backfield, Millard, Lamb, and Taylor. So it is 1st and 10, just underway here at Irvine High School. There's the pitch, and it's thrown for a loss, a 1-yard loss, and that's something they hope to do as much as they can. Brian Porteous comes in and makes the play.
Paul, we're going to see a lot of this tonight. It's called a wrong shoulder technique, and it's something we'll try to explain to the people as we go. Normally, you might take on a lead blocker if you are the left defensive end with your right shoulder. Brian Porteous that time took him on with his left shoulder, tried to turn the play back to the inside, and you know, the first play of the game went for 35 yards, which is not anything that should surprise people. But here you see Porteous come in, and he takes the quarterback, and right shoulder, wrong shoulder, that's a knockout right there.
Well, the first play of the game goes for a long gain for Tustin. The second play is not a whole lot better for the Irvine Vaqueros. Even though they throw Tustin for a loss, there is an injured player on the field, and it is an Irvine Vaquero. Hasn't moved a whole lot, and I'm trying to get a number. It looks like 75 is down on the ground, and 75, of course, is Richard Ah. We'll take you back to the very first play of the game on offense for the Tustin Tillers, and it's exciting to watch Richard Miller get outside. And Bill, how do they do this so effectively?
Well, this is the Tustin sweep, and there's the play that could have been made by the defensive end coming up the field. He misses a tackle, and remember, Paul, and we will see it many times tonight, they will get 8 blockers at the point of attack. And it's quite something to watch. And standing behind us here, my dear friend John DeFries, and John from the head coach at Loera High School. He's coached against both of these guys.
That's right.
So it's probably more fun for Johnny to be up here with us tonight watching. I'm sure he'd rather be in the semifinals, but
well, it was 1 week ago that Tustin played Loera, and Loera coming up short on that end of the stick, and Tustin in their second play on offense injures a Irvine Vaquero, and number 75 is down. Myron Miller on the other side of the field. Of course, in a 6th year, he went to a CIF championship game back in 1997, as I alluded to, Bill. Of course, Carson Palmer with Santa Margarita, Deshaun Foster with the Tustin Tillers. They ran up and down the field, and they're still doing it in college.
Maybe the best high school football game I've ever seen, where Deshaun Foster accounted for like 356 yards running, and Carson threw for 430. But, you know, Myron has been in a CIF game in a final before, and we did the game against Trabuco Hills many years ago when they had Jake Anderson and all those fine players, and he ran this same offense at Costa Mesa. But, Paul, the difference I'd see, and we may ask John DeFries about this as we go on, this Tustin team seems to me to execute this offense better now than I've ever seen them do it. They're more precise, and we've got something new and different here for you tonight.
This is Bill Cunity's virtual playbook as Mr. Ogg gets up, and he's coming off slowly, but it's good to see him up. There's Myron Miller. Bill, this is your first play you picked out. This is Tustin's offense.
This is a good picture of the 6-2 that Irvine runs. There's the back in motion and the pitch back, and now you will see 8 potential blockers at the point of attack. And you can see that Irvine is going to have to flow to the play. And you can see again the center blocks back, and they get 8 guys in front of that ball carrier. You're going to see that a lot tonight.
There's the pitch to Miller again. He's still up on his feet. He'll get 4 spins, and he gets another yard off the spin.
That is the play, and we'll take a look at it perhaps later on in the show, but we're going to use the virtual playbook to diagram some stuff for you and perhaps give you a little better understanding of what's going on out
Bill,
there.
do you know if they like to pitch to the left or to the right? So far, Miller has run to the left on a couple of occasions in only the 3rd play of the game.
Asking Myron about that, you know, he said that they'll go either way. Frostee Rucker, number 44, is going to get the ball quite a lot, but they're going to look for what the defense is doing as to whether they want to go backside or front side.
Point of attack on the 39-yard line, so they come up short of a first down. Number 32 coming up to make an initial hit. Parker now.
You know, talking to J.C. Clark, who has done such a marvelous job coordinating this defense for Terry at Irvine, he said Parker now is the guy that really is going to make the biggest difference. Porteous on one side is going to be able to make some plays, but you watch him come up right now and make a great tackle there, number 32. Parker is a very aggressive player, and they are putting him at one of the 2 inside linebacker positions.
4th down and 6. They haven't punted in 5 games. They're not going to punt now. Miller back to pass. He tosses it out. Incomplete.
Now that's a victory for Irvine purely from a field position standpoint, because Myron Miller said before the game, he said, you know, Bill, we don't punt the ball. If it's 4th and 6, we think we can get 6 yards.
That's right.
And they tried a pass that we will actually show you a little bit later on in the virtual playbook. That was, it didn't take me a long time to do this because they only have 2 passes.
That's right. Well, they won that series of down, the Irvine Vaqueros do, and in doing so, they get the ball at very good field position at their own 39-yard line. One thing you'll see about the Irvine Vaqueros is they hustle. Peter Ave hustles as he crosses the 50. He's got a little bit break in the action. Down to the 35, knocked out of bounds on the 30-yard line. The smallest player out there on the field, maybe the quickest, and the most elusive gets a huge first down.
Paul, I think we're going to see something a little later on. about that play that cutbacks for Irvine are going to be the key.
Otad Abe and Godfrey Young, who scored a ton of touchdowns in one game against Woodbridge a little while ago. Short, Smith, Brooks, and Kimmich, the receivers and the tight end. McKinney, Gasper, Malopas, Kashini, and Wright. A quick pass out to the near side, right in front of the bench of the Irvine Vaqueros. They get 5 out of it on the play. Completed to number 26 for the Irvine Vaqueros. And we'll be talking about Mike Brooks throughout the evening. He's 6 foot tall. So no score. We're just underway. Tustin's had the ball once in a series of downs. They picked up a huge first down on the very first play of the game. We go back to this play, Bill.
Well, Paul, I think Travis Otad is going to have a lot to say about how this game turns out tonight, because he's going to have to be accurate and quick when he throws the ball. He's not going to have a lot of time.
A late flag thrown in after the tackle, or right at the point of the tackle, I should say. So the Irvine Vaqueros on offense, we have seen them. It's going to be a holding penalty. Doug Turner is the white hat tonight, and these officials have earned the right to be at this game. They've been selected, they've been judged, and they have been awarded an opportunity to move on to a semifinal game.
You're right, and I think that's
holding
it's
on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
And I'm
replay second down.
I'm guessing Doug is from Texas. But you're absolutely right, Paul. These guys are voted into a game like this by the officials that do the grading and stuff. So this is a reward for a great season for an official.
So 9 minutes to go in this first quarter. Trips to the top of the screen. Abe with a step to his left. Gets back kind of close to the original line of scrimmage. So bring up, about 11 yards. We'll take a look at the defensive starters. 12 yards to go for a first. Diaz, Deep, Wotal, and Miller. Richard Miller. He'll go both ways tonight. Might not even lead the field. McCoy, Rucker, Kuklinski, and Chester. Chester, another player going both ways. And then their backfield, the 2 cornerbacks and their safety, Richard Rowland, number 20. Irvine will test them.
Here's a formation I think you're going to see a lot of tonight.
Quarterback back to pass, and it's completed. What a strike that was, right at the 22-yard line. So a nice pass play by Travis Otad.
Paul, I think you're going to see something tonight. Irvine obviously is not intimidated by Tustin. They've played some very physical teams over the years. But I think when you watch a team like Tustin on film, after a while, it does play on your mind a little bit.
That's
you
right.
see these big physical players. Look at the pass rush by McCoy on the top. But notice something that Tustin does, and I think it really works to their advantage. You're not going to see him take a lot of time. Get to the line of scrimmage, take the snap.
4th and 2, and that's a huge play by number 44, and that's Frostee Rucker. So both teams decide to go for 4th down plays, and both of them come up short on the opposite end. Great defensive plays, this time by Rucker. He was poised and ready to make that tackle.
He's a big leaguer. Frostee Rucker is going to go play somewhere and really make an impression. Here comes Rucker off the corner, McCoy right behind him. But Paul, I really like what Irvine's doing in terms of get to the line of scrimmage, snap the ball, and hopefully catch Tustin moving around in that bare defense they run.
One of these 2 teams will face the winner of La Mirada and Newport Harbor, who play tomorrow night, Saturday night. There's the pitch to Miller. He doesn't go down the first time, but right there to make the tackle is Dave Doomey.
Boy, you got to give some credit to number 5 coming up the field for Irvine, and that's Jorian Gwynn. If you can get somebody up the field, meaning from the line of scrimmage 4 or 5 yards deep into Tustin's backfield, and turn that play in. Now watch, here's the toss. See Miller leading the quarterback. And number 34 with a great tackle there coming off the corner is Andy Howe. He was one of the guys we highlighted earlier.
Certainly was. 2nd down and 10. So Tustin has broken off one big play. They'll call it timeout here. They've managed to break off one big play on the first play of the game around the left side. Myron Miller comes out to talk to his offensive unit. 7:10 to go in this first quarter. We'll drop down to the field. Bobby, the injury report, what do you have?
Number 75, Richard, on his left shoulder, he did dislocate his shoulder. They are icing it right now, and they have told him that it is up to him, depending on how much it hurts, it's up to him if he wants to continue playing later on in this game. It is a risk for further injury, but they're leaving it up to him after they ice it to see how it feels. Also, this is physical, this game already. Number 7, Joe Bullard, he has a lip laceration. It's pretty deep. They're taping it up. He's probably going to need stitches, but they said as long as it's not bleeding, he's able to go back in the game. Back up to you.
And you see with his shoulder pads off. Doesn't look like he's going to be coming back anytime soon. So we'll see if he does, in fact, come back into the game. Tonight's Game of the Week being brought to you by Family Toyota and also by Aerolift, the scissor lift specialist, by Laguna Surf and Sport, and by Stuffed Pizza and Brewing Company. On the near side, Tustin runs the football, and that is our bird's eye camera, from what I'm told, on the opposite end zone camera.
Paul, it took some guys a lot of time to erect that down there because you can't run anything across the track. So they built that for us. That's pretty nice work.
That is very good. So no score. Tustin averaging 61 points a game. They put up over 50 last week. Irvine defeated Mayfair 16-0, and you have to look at that 0, 16-0. Their defense shined, and their defense has carried over so far from 1 week ago. And I think maybe sometimes when you hear about a spectacular offense that is scoring up to 61 points a game, sometimes the opposing defense is overlooked, and that's a good thing for the defense.
I think so. I think you're right. I think when you come into this game, just remember, Irvine is 12-0. A lot of talk about Tustin. They're 11-1, and they deserve all the talk. But this J.C. Clark defense here that Irvine runs, this bear front, interestingly, Paul, they can't run the bear against this. So this 6-2 is really a departure from what they've been doing all year.
Steven Diaz in the backfield. They go to Miller, and he's nailed, and it was a great tackle. Number 32 coming in for Irvine. He actually threw his back at the player. Parker now with a huge play. I'd like to see that one again, Bill, because he did a 180 and threw his back into the runner, and that's how come he went down.
Well, here it is. You can see that the lead blocker, the guard pulls, the quarterback pulls.
Boom, look at that.
I'll tell you, the guy did a great job again.
34.
Was Jorian Gwynn to turn the play in.
Certainly.
And then number 34 there to make the play, Andy Howe. Paul, look at the field position they get now, because Tustin doesn't want to punt the football.
Right. They're very confident that they can get the first down on a fourth down play, but twice now they've come up short. Irvine shuffling players all around. 2 wide receivers at the top, 1 at the bottom, a lone running back. They send a man in motion. This is how they tried to go for first down moments ago, and they go back to a similar play, number 29. And we talked about him a ton of times. Godfrey Young scored 5 touchdowns against Woodbridge, the player of the game. He came into that game with only 5 touchdowns, so he doubled his effort in one night.
Paul, if you watch all of the things that happened before that play, Irvine has come to the line of scrimmage, take the snap. Come to the line of scrimmage, take the snap. That time, they ran a move play where they brought 3 guys from the right side to the left side. Now, what Terry's trying to do there is confuse the Tustin defense, because it's an assignment man-to-man defense.
Otad gets hit as he throws the football in on a huge play as Wotal, Jacob Wotal. So Otad goes down right when he throws the pass. He falls incomplete. So 5:07 to go in this first quarter.
You're going to have to throw timing routes against this defense for sure. And you probably better throw out that 18-yard sideline route, because you're not going to have enough time to throw it.
Coming out of the game is Jack Egan for the Irvine Vaqueros. Setting up wide to the right will be number 26, and that's Mike Brooks.
Here's the formation I think will work for them. 2 tight ends. Now they just do a switch. Look at the guys chasing on defense. Now you have a mismatch on the outside, Paul.
Otad with plenty of time this time, looking down the field, and that's a good defensive play. Coming up is number 43, Kuklinski. And that's a sharp play, Bill, as he gets his hands out there and knocks the ball down.
You can see Terry's got a great plan for this. He's going to shift, he's going to motion, and he's going to try and get the Tustin guys out of position. And in this case, Kuklinski just makes a great play, because Otad has a guy in the flat, and that's a well-designed play, but a great defensive effort.
Kuklinski with the good play, Bill, and that brings up 4th down and 8. So Kuklinski, pardon me, with a couple of good plays already in this first quarter. Otad rolling to his right. He's got time. He fires this one, and just in and out of the hands of the receiver. And that was intended for number 26, Mike Brooks. And Terry Hennigan knows that was one that could have been. And they'll go back to that play.
They'll go back to it. And interestingly, I think we even have that on virtual reality. We'll show that a little later. The bootleg, he gets outside the contain, pulls up, and really throws a pretty good pass. But again, a very good defensive effort. Number 36 on defense out there is Carlos Ramirez. But Paul, I really like Terry's plan.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't had a punt yet.
No,
either.
haven't had a punt, and we haven't had a score. Haven't had a whole lot of first downs either. 1st and 10 right now, 2 first downs in the entire first quarter so far. We go to Miller again. Sweeping to the left side. Now, the thing about Miller, you know, Bill, that he's not going to go down the first time you try to tackle him.
That's right. When we see what this Irvine defense is doing, and we'll show you some stuff a little later on, there are some things that you can do scheme-wise to put players at the point of attack. What you have to trust when they get to the point of attack is that they'll tackle. And that's a large order because you're tackling some big, strong athletes.
2nd down and 6 with 4:15 to go in this first quarter. Quarterback in trouble and still up on his feet. He tosses it out there. A risky pass because there was 2 Vaqueros, but he manages to get it out of bounds, the left-hander, and Hannigan wants to have a penalty on that for intentional grounding, but they did a pretty good job on defense.
Well, you know, when you can force Tustin to throw the ball, you've done your job on defense. And right now, you know, Myron is patient enough to say, this is the first quarter. We're going to keep running this thing.
Yeah.
Now, you notice another difference between these 2 teams, Paul? Tustin walks to the line of scrimmage, kind of conserving their energy. Irvine sprints to the line of scrimmage and tries to kind of get quick strike stuff. And they are, as you said, you use the line, 2.5 miles apart.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I'll steal it from you.
I love it.
These schools are 2.5 miles apart, but Bill, as you said, they are worlds apart.
It's the philosophies of each program, I think, take advantage of the coaching styles. Myron's got his own style. He's doing it with stuff. We were talking tonight. I said, Myron, this looks like the single wing. He goes, it is. And he said, you know what? We have our way to do it.
Yeah.
We lift weights every day. We have 4 running plays and 2 passing plays, and we're going to just try it out physically.
Coach Miller, definitely. He'll do a play 20 times in a row in practice.
Yep, great repetition learning.
4:09, no score. We'll be back with more of the first after this.
Stuffed Pizza and Brewing Company's been voted best family dining in San Diego.
Or the salads. Great food, great beer, and the kids love the games.
Or the appetizers.
The pasta.
For the Mug Club.
The best pizza in town.
That's right. For the 6th straight year, we've been voted the best pizza in San Diego.
I love Loose Cannon. It's got tons of garlic, lots of great fresh tomatoes, and a great crust.
Stuffed Pizza and Brewing Company.
Now in Mission Viejo, near the corner of Alicia and Violinda, 1 block east of Geronimo.
We've been interviewing many of our most important customers. Here's what they're saying about Family Toyota.
My daughter and I just love our new Camry and the deal we got here at Family Toyota. Oh.
It's a perfect truck. And perfect dealership.
This RAV4 is definitely cool, and so is my experience at Family Toyota.
I think you get the message.
There's the Vaquero, the mascot, and he hopes to have 1 more game of work. That would be next week in the CIF final.
I think I saw that guy at Outback Steakhouse earlier.
Either against La Mirada and Newport Harbor. They play on Saturday night. It's hard to tell who has the football, but Irvine does a good job of finding it out, and that's how you make a tackle. You hold on, you hit the guy, you slide down, Bill, and you hold on to that feet, and it was a wonderful play. Brian Porteous again with a good tackle.
You know, in the virtual playbook, I'm going to show you what this Irvine defense is doing to stop this sweep. And right there, Porteous is the guy that can make the play. Now, this is interesting. We're going to have a punt.
That's 6 games, they're going to punt the football. Do they remember how to do this? We'll find out here in just a second. And they're trying to get the right guys in there. Number 88,
Alex
Acevedo is going to punt the ball.
Paul, remember how we said Irvine always blocks a kick? The guy that used to block the kicks is now returning the punts, Joe Ballard.
Joe Ballard, as you said, there's a penalty because, of course, they took too much time in setting that up, and that's what normally happens when you haven't done something in a game situation. You can practice this all you want, but in a game situation, it's something that you really have to go out and have repetition at, just like 20 repetitions in one play that he does in practice, a running play.
Correct, and this thing, you know Irvine loves to block kicks. There are 10 guys up there, Tustin uses what we've always called a blood bank, which is 3 guys back there to protect the kicker's foot. But
most important player right now could be the snapper.
You're right. And let's see.
Acevedo gets it off, and Ballard takes it on the 45. He gets to the 50, still on his feet, at the 40, and gets out of bounds on the 38, but there's a flag on the play resting on the 44-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to call a clip there at the 44. But you know how much, well, I came over here the other day to watch these guys, and they did special teams work for 40 minutes. That's why they're good, because they did kickoff return. They set this picket up like they just did there, and you know, this game might be won on a special teams play.
Right.
And if you, as you said, if you don't punt a lot, I don't know if under a pressure situation that might not be a weak point.
So Turner, the official tonight, will call this one off. We want to thank him for wearing our microphone.
Clipping on the green team on the run back, 15 yards from the point of the foul. First down.
Acevedo was the punter. Ballard was the man that took the ball. A good return, but the clip will come into your picture right around the 45-yard line. Ballard on the cutback, and you'll see it right there. That enabled him to get a couple more yards.
Nice camera work. Very good job of showing that little infraction. And here comes Irvine, and they'll go quick, snap, and run.
And they'll run it across the 50 to the 47. So number 13 running the ball, Dave Doomey. He can do it on offense and defense. Bobby, what do you have?
Paul, you were talking about special teams for Tustin Tillers. When I spoke with Coach Miller earlier this week, he said his philosophy is that they try not to lose on special teams. They don't expect a win because of their special teams, but they just want to make sure that they don't lose because of it either. He said they just don't have the number of personnel to get too crazy on special teams, so that's why they don't do a lot of, you know, unique or different things on their special teams. Back up to you.
And special teams, 1/3 of the game, unless you're scoring 70 points a game. You know, not a whole lot of special teams on that. Peter Abe, with a couple extra yards on the second effort, gets clued to the 42-yard line, and he is right on his back looking at his left leg.
Well, that would be a devastating injury for this team.
And you know, Bill, maybe it's his midsection. He's just patted his stomach like he's got the wind knocked out of him. And that's one of the most painful things,
isn't it?
That can happen to you.
Boy.
2:35 to go in this first quarter. No score. We'll step aside and have more of the game of the week, and hopefully Peter Abe will be back up on his feet when we come back.
Stuffed Pizza and Brewing Company's been voted best family dining in San Diego.
Or the salads. Great food, great beer, and the kids love the games.
Or the appetizers.
The pasta.
For the Mug Club.
The best pizza in town.
That's right. For the 6th straight year, we've been voted the best pizza in San Diego.
I love loose cannon. It's got tons of garlic, lots of great fresh tomatoes, and a great crust.
Stuffed Pizza and Brewing Company.
Now in Mission Viejo, near the corner of Alicia and Violinda, 1 block east of Geronimo.
How many ways can you save family?
It's all about family at the second happiest place on earth.
My first instincts were correct with Peter Abe. Did hurt his left knee, but he comes off the field walking slowly, but he's still up on his feet. Pass play completed to number 26 coming out of bounds, Mike Brooks. He's already been busy here in the first quarter. We'll get an injury report on Peter Abe, number 10, their star running back, who everyone knows that I enjoy watching playing football. So Irvine doing a great job of mixing up the run and the pass, Bill, and we knew they were going to do that coming into this game because a few weeks back in a huge rival game with Woodbridge, we saw them do just that.
That's right, and it's nice when you have a David Doomey and a Godfrey Young come to back up Abe.
Otot going down without a chance to look upfield. Number 42, pardon me, Bill, Steven Diaz coming in to make the tackle.
You'll hear a lot of these names twice. He's a running back, and so let's show you now a little bit about what Irvine's going to do to attack this Tustin defense. This is the double wing. Actually, this is still Tustin on offense running their wing play. So This is the Tustin pass play. And you can see the Tustin, they've thrown it once already to the tight end. When Tustin's back on offense, that's what you're going to look for. Play action, and they're going to try and get Chester, one of those big guys, down the field. And we'll show you in just a second what Irvine does.
So it was 2nd and 16. After the snap, a flag comes in. They stop the play. Let's go down to the field.
Dead ball starts on the offense.
So this will
replay
be
2nd down, 5-yard penalty.
On that 2nd down, 5-yard penalty, it'd be 2nd down and 21 now. And a standing room only crowd, just like we thought it would be tonight here at Irvine High School. Both teams being well supported by their school and administration and also the community.
Boy, you see a lot of former Tustin and a lot of former Irvine football players here tonight, about to support their old coaches and their teams. And let's see what Irvine does now.
There's Peter Abe, and they're looking at his left knee. And they jump again, so they'll be back 5 more yards. And it was almost like a Tustin player made them jump when a little move on their side.
Well, Paul, I think you're absolutely right. When you look at this front, keep your eyes on number 5, McCoy, because he's going to intimidate some people. He's a great player.
Take you back to Coach Q's virtual playbook.
Here's a real good look at the Irvine offense as they're lining up now. And when you run against man-to-man, you can see here we've diagrammed a little play to the 3rd receiver or 2nd receiver in. And against man-to-man, you want to try and run crossing routes. And I think we may see things just like that. You're going to see something here. Single receiver routes
turning up the
against
field.
Man-to-man.
Receiver turned up the field. The ball went to the outside, but still not a bad idea. Intended for number 80, and that's Kimmich.
It puts a tremendous amount of pressure. This Bear front puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the corners because you're out there on an island. You know you're going to have 8 guys going after the quarterback, but in some cases, Tustin brings a 9th guy up there and say, corners, you got to cover these guys. And Peter Abe's running around.
There's a good sign of Peter Abe doing wind sprints on the sidelines, and we'll see if he even gets any tape put on that knee. Todd, and he throws another pass and can't catch up to this one as number 26 is Mike Brooks. And I have a feeling we're going to be saying Mike Brooks' name quite often tonight. Todd goes off, and of course he's not super thrilled with that, but he's going to come back and make some great passes, Bill, because you can already tell that he's feeling like he's almost in the groove. Coach Hennigan, of course, has other thoughts right now, but that's the way they coach. They get after it.
You bet. You've got to take those shots against man-to-man. That cornerback, Danny D. Kasapanen, is really a very good athlete, but he doesn't have much help out there.
Walker back for Tustin. A low snap, picked off the ground and punted away.
Great punt by Beanie. Great punt.
So 48 seconds. And
I'm sorry, that was number 12, Josh Short.
Yep, Josh Short with the punt. And Tustin will take it at the 11-yard line with 48 seconds. The wind is not a factor tonight. The field is in decent conditions. Again, too many schools actually play on this field, but it's actually kind of good. They've painted the numbers on the field tonight. So with 48 seconds to go, we do have an injury report. Bobby, Peter Abe is up running around down there. How's he doing?
Injury previously, a grade 1 MCL, and he just aggravated it. So they said as soon as he gets taped up, he will be back in the game. And while I was standing on the sidelines, number 34, Andy Howe, actually was getting a little sick, and I asked him what was up. Was it the nerves or what? And he said, yes, it is the nerves, everything. It's just the playoffs. They're very excited on the sidelines here. Back up to you.
You can't explain, really, Bill, the excitement that these kids, these young men go through. This is what they've worked so hard for months. I'm just not talking like since fall started, but since passing league. So they are excited about this. And it's great that they're showing emotions and they get excited about something like this that could really have an impact for years to come.
Great coverage. Great coverage. Porteous again down there to make the initial hit.
So they had a penalty and they punted it again.
But Paul, you're absolutely right. I mean, you've competed all your life, and I think that people who are spectators can get a lot of enjoyment out of watching the game. But man, when you're in the arena and you're part of something like this, I'll tell you what, it goes right to your soul. There's not much in the way of explanation unless you've been there. It's really overwhelming. And these kids, Irvine wants to get back to the finals again last year, where they lost a thriller. And Tustin hasn't won a CIF championship since 1948.
It's hard to see who's going to get the ball in this type of offense unless they pitch it. And how about that? They pitch it to Frostee, and he does a little counter step and goes back the other direction.
That's exactly what that is, Paul. That is a counter play. And we will show you in a little bit the Irvine blitz defense, where they're going to try and bring the 8 guys in the front plus 1 secondary guy to the point of attack. But look at this. If you just follow the ball carrier, you'd probably think that play's going to the defense left. But he counters back, and if you're just keying on the motion guy, you're going to lose here. But Irvine did a good job.
I asked Coach DeFries, who's standing behind us, the head coach of Loera, who's the better back, and between Frostee and Miller, and he said, you know, they're both real good. Yep. You know, when you got 2 backs that can run the football like they can, it makes for an interesting football team. They're averaging 61 points a game, but no points so far in the first quarter. It'd be interesting to find out if they have been shut out in the first quarter this year. We'll be back with more of the Game of the Week right after this.
Yes, sir. Your belt's got holes in it. Smokey, your car does need a new battery. Uh-huh. Hey, come on, Smoke. Wait, sue me? I'll sue you. Used tires are $100 a piece, 4 of them for $500. Uh-huh, that's right. Orange County, you've been to the rest. Now it's time to come to the best. Bridgestone Tire of Mission Viejo. We can do a tune-up or an overhaul, whatever you want.
What did you pay to play that CD? Next time, come to CD Warehouse, Irvine's first choice for new and used CDs and DVDs. Thousands of titles in stock, all with our 100% guarantee to play like new. At CD Warehouse, we'll pay cash for your used CDs and DVDs. Plus, take advantage of our great trade-in offers towards new CDs and DVDs. CD Warehouse in the West Park Plaza in Irvine, corner of Alton and Culver. Savings never sounded so good.
Right now, Irvine Vaqueros hoping that they're number 1. One more game to go after this one to prove it. And that will be the CIF Championship game, Division 6. Second down, 2 to go.
Wow. They're going on a quarterback sneak. And you know, Paul, we've talked about the perimeter players. We talk about Parker and Brian and the guys that come off the edge. The guys that we don't get to say enough about, I'll give you a good example, number 54, Brian Kotz that time. He's just stuck right in the middle of that huge offensive line, and all those interior people are doing a marvelous job.
Bradley Stelly is in the game now for the Tustin Tillers, number 3.
You know, those Irvine front 4 are giving away about 40 pounds a guy.
Well, you know, and if you were to measure physicalness in this game, both teams have been physical, Bill. It's not like Tustin is running right over Irvine.
Right.
I think that Irvine has stepped it up. Maybe they're not, they don't have the size advantage tonight, but they have definitely stepped it up. So with 11:18 to go in the second quarter, no score yet. There's a good look at Myron Miller, the head coach of the Tustin Tillers in his 6th year.
Just like watching you wrestle, emotion and heart can overcome just about anything. There's Abby. Look at him saying, Coach, put me in.
Tonight's Game of the Week is being brought to you by Cox and Demand. It's like having your own blockbuster movie library right at your fingertips. You never have to rent, rewind, or return again. Also by Family Honda, the proud sponsors of our pregame show. We thank them for that. And by AAA Auto Care. They're located across the street from Home Depot in the city of Mission Viejo. And we're also being brought to you tonight by the city of San Juan Capistrano. You can find them on the web. I want to thank all of our sponsors tonight for supporting high school football right here on Channel 3, the Game of the Week. 11:18 to go in the first half. No score. If you were to have said that during the week, everyone would have said, what are you, crazy? But when you see plays like this and tackles like Joe Bullard just made, well, it's for real. There is no score just because of plays like that.
Now, you have to understand that Joe Bullard is the free safety, and he's making a tackle 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and or close to the line of scrimmage. Now, that was enough for the first down, but we'll show you in a little bit on the virtual playbook how Irvine is defensing this power sweep. They get a lot of guys there, and you can see Bullard coming up from, well, you'll see later, he comes up from about 9 yards deep to make that tackle.
11:02. And now they start the clock inside 11 minutes to go. Is this going to be a scoring drive for the Tustin Tillers? There's the pitch. Up the middle, and shoestring tackle across the 50-yard line. And the tackle made by number 34, Andy Howe. And Bill, if he didn't make that, it would have been lights out. 6-0
right.
Tustin. Here's another look at the virtual playbook for Tustin.
This is a good look now at how Irvine will attack this. There's the pitch. Now look at the white little guys, the little green and white players on defense, and watch as they attack the line of scrimmage. You can see the corner coming up, and you will have 9 football players at the line of scrimmage, and that's the way you're going to have to defense this thing.
Frostee Rucker gets the pitch. They go to the right side. Get a couple yards out of it before he's tackled there by number 38 for the Irvine Vaqueros.
Lots of kudos and thanks to Marcus Williams and Joe Marks and Bill Fennell for helping me with that virtual playbook stuff. Paul, I think we're going to have some fun with that. I think it'll give the people an idea about kind of strategically what's going on out there.
Parker now in on the tackle along with Brian Porteous. Andy Howe with a touchdown saving tackle moments ago. This brings up 2nd down and 7 with 9:50 to go on the clock in the first half. They send a man in motion. They give it to the first man through, and he gets loose for a first down. So I don't think we've seen that play yet.
That's the fullback trap, and what you do is you kind of lose that guy sometimes, Paul, because he is about 1.5 yards behind David Miller. And when he's up that close, Steve Diaz can, he's down in a stance, and sometimes in listening to linebackers, they say, well, I can't even see him. And well, now you can see they trap that guy, and this is all determined on how the defense is playing the sweep. Then they'll go to all the other plays.
Jorian Gwynn with the tackle. Gwynn with the tackle. You see Frostee go in motion. Miller is going to drop back to pass. The left-handed toss in and out of the hands of the receiver. And that was number 3 out there, Bradley Castelli.
Now, as soon as they get you defending the run, that's what they do. They take the tight end to the corner, or the wing back to the corner, rather, and the tight end to the flat. And that's a catch that I'm sure he'll make the next time he gets a chance. But David Miller, as we mentioned before, 1480 on the SAT. And his dad told me that, and that's just a perfect throw. His dad said, you know, I'll send in a play, and David will fix it if it's wrong.
2nd and 10. Stop clocked on that. Incompletion. Rucker, you see how big he is. The Tustin doing a good job on that right side, Bill, and I think Irvine, maybe it seems like Tustin's getting a few more yards with each time they carry the ball now.
You know, that's what was Coach McKay's philosophy always when we were at SC. It's big man on big man, and by the end of the third quarter, we're going to wear you down.
Yeah.
Well, I was just looking at Brian Porteous. He weighs 180 pounds, and the guy he's playing against weighs 290 pounds. So you've got to use your quickness, and when you get to the point of attack, you must make the tackle.
3rd and 5. Rucker again. Big lengthy body just short of the first down, and they don't punt the ball very often. Only one time in the last 6 games, and that was a little while ago. So it'll be 4th and just short.
Now that's a scary thought right there. David Miller was on the ground, and Myron told me he's had 2 knee surgeries.
Oh, really?
And he is truly like a blocking back in a single wing, except that, you know, single wing, they snap it right to the tailback. He is a T-formation quarterback, but he is one of the lead blockers.
With 8:10 to go in this first half, this is the biggest play of the game. 4th down, 1 to go, just shy of the 30. They have to get inside the 30. Miller at quarterback. He's been prone to run the ball. They give it to the first man through. There is the first down carry. Irvine with the stop, but not before Tustin gets a first down. And they go over their own left side, number 42, and that's Steve Diaz.
That's the thing that I think wears you out in the end. You start watching the motion guy, and you start watching the sweep, and boy, what you get is that fullback just running between the tackles. Here comes the motion, and there's the fullback, and
right on through.
Well, I tell you what, remember the splits that this offensive line takes? About an inch.
Yeah, not a whole lot of splitting there. Splitting hairs, that's about all they're doing. 2 good plays.
How strong is McCoy?
Wow.
You know,
Matthew McCoy gets hit twice.
Jorian Gwynn's there, and he's got him wrapped up, but you know, you see McCoy play more on defense. He's a marvelous defensive
Well, we
player.
highlighted him on defense, too.
But how much is he able to, you know, squat and leg press if he can carry 3 players with him for 10 yards?
Well, you got to give Jorian some credit. He comes up and makes the hit. 5 on 5.
And now everybody hang on.
Because we're going for a ride.
Number 13, Dave Dumey is there.
But did you see how he eventually went down? He went down to got him underneath the knees, and that's how he eventually brought him down. Jorian Gwynn. There's the pitch. Miller gets across the 30 to the 28-yard line. Remember that coming into this game, Tustin has scored 70 points in the game, over 80 points in the game, and with those kind of points being scored and not punting the football, they're averaging 61 points. At this time in the game, do you think the kids look up on the scoreboard and say, wow,
Paul,
we haven't scored any?
That's a great point. It does at times play on your mind and say, wait, we've been just running through everybody like they weren't there. We're in a game. But, you know, Myron coaches these guys so well that, you know, he tells them, look, it's 4 quarters. And if you've been in that weight room all year long, it'll eventually pay off. Just be patient.
Wow, look at that. Oh, if he was to stay up on his feet, it would have looked like Deshaun Foster going in for a touchdown. But not a bad job by Richard Miller.
Now, you got to think, Richard Miller is 6'3". He's 235 pounds, and he's a junior. But I'll tell you what, I saw another one when he walked out on the field tonight. Chris Barrett. Remember that name. He's 6'5", 220 pounds, and he's a 10th grader. And we don't get to see him yet because he's got some older guys in front of him.
The inertia carried him down. Otherwise, he'd still be up. Matt McCoy.
This is what this team will do to you. It's just laws of physics. You know, you've got a bigger force, and you know, after some point in time, what you have to do on defense is get a takeaway, because Irvine's a 2-platoon football team. But
Bill,
these defensive guys are going to get worn out.
Speaking of being worn out, do you use a timeout if you see that your defensive guys are sucking air?
That's a real good point. Yeah, you might. J.C. Clark might just say, hey, let's take a little momentum break here and slow this thing down.
2nd and 5. Frostee Rucker, he steps over one tackler, still up, still on his feet, he busts in, touchdown, Tustin. Tustin gets in for the first time tonight. They lead it 6-0. Frostee Rucker lights up the crowd on the Tustin side of the field.
Boy, the guys that make that play work, I'm telling you, the tight end in the wing to the side of the play, and then the backside guard and tackle. And we'll take a look at that on the virtual playbook a little later on again. But you know, they'll run that play probably 80% of the offense. It's 80% of it. And they block it 4 or 5 different ways, too.
And that's going to be important. The PAT is no good. 6-0 the score. We'll come back in just a moment. The Tustin Tillers lead it here in the second.
You find a good quality used car that won't cost you a fortune? Capistrano Car Company. Where are most cars under $10,000 and many under $7,500? Capistrano Car Company. Where can you find the nicest guys in town? Capistrano Car Company. When you want a good quality used car without having to deal with all the hype, go to Capistrano Car Company. Take the Avery exit off the 5 freeway. Head west 1 block. Turn left onto Camino Capistrano, and we're there, right next to In-N-Out Burgers.
It's your waiting room, your quiet zone, your way home. Keep it cool. Bring your car to the new Midas and let a pro inspect your air conditioning system, because it's hot out there. Now just $19.99. Cool. 'Cause that's how your life goes. We're a new way to keep a good thing going. Go Midas.
On a great night for high school football, Tustin leads it 6-0. They go 15 plays and 72 yards. It was a 11-yard run by Frostee Rucker. The PAT was blocked, so it's 6-0.
Look at this. Look at this.
We talked about him. Godfrey Young is loose. He's down to the 40. On the outside, they've got an angle. Down to the 10, 5, touchdown.
You just knew that some point in time, the amount of time these guys spend on special teams was going to pay off. And Paul, I tell you, the other day when I was over here watching them, when they spent that 40 minutes on special teams, they did with their kickoff return what Tustin does with their offense, Paul. They ran that picket return 15 times, and everybody knows who they have to block. And I'm telling you, for as long as I've been watching Terry coach, I don't care what level, high school, junior college, college, pros, he's got the best kickoff return scheme I've ever seen.
Bill, you mentioned it just on punts, coming after and trying to block punts, the special teams in which they work on so tirelessly in practice. And on the kickoff return, they come through here. Godfrey Young with a kickoff return for a score, and the PAT is good. Man, we're exchanging blows. It's 7-6. Irvine's got the edge. We're in the second. We'll be back.
Enjoy Cox Digital Cable in Disneyland this holiday season. Right now, Disneyland Park, the merriest place on earth, is transformed into a holiday fantasy world. With zillions of lights and Believe in Holiday Magic, a new fireworks spectacular celebrating the beauty and joy of holiday memories. With the grandest of all finales, snow every night. Treat yourself to Cox Digital Cable this holiday season. Call today for a free upgrade and be sure to ask about passports to Disneyland.
Kickoff returned by Godfrey Young, number 29. A few weeks ago, he had 5 touchdowns against the Woodbridge Warriors. Tonight, he scores the biggest touchdown of his high school career, 95-yard kickoff return. Irvine will kick it off from the 40.
That, I don't think he was touched.
No.
And that means that the other 10 guys did a marvelous job.
And he's out there on the kickoff coverage, number 29, the second man in. So Irvine kicking off, and Tustin is not scored upon that often, that they only had 9 players out there on the PAT.
And let's go back even to the extra point block. So many times, number 7 was the guy that blocked the Tustin extra point. Now, we've watched this guy in 2 years block 7 kicks now.
One of the coaches for Corona tomorrow, Lyle Lansdale, who's up next to us, mentioned just moments ago a very good point. Billy said this is one thing that could hurt Irvine, them coming out and scoring so quickly, because their defense was just on the field for 6 minutes when the Tustin Tillers drove 72 yards in 15 plays. It's a good point being made that in the third quarter they might feel that touchdown that was just scored.
I know what Coach McCoy would say. You're 18 years old. You can play for an hour, you know.
And
there's the quarterback.
Quarterback has a first down and more, and he's tough to bring down. The scholar athlete, coach's son, and that's a great run by him.
Yeah, I just had a feeling all week long. I was so excited to get to this game, because high school playoff football, there's nothing like it. This is a packed house. And you can tell, you know, John DeFries, Lyle Lansdale, coaches are at this game because it's something that you really want to watch. And you know, you're not only watching athletes, you're watching how coaches coach.
Right. 7-6. Tustin did a good job of wearing down the Irvine Vaqueros defense moments ago, but here coming up to make good plays, number 38, Brian Porteous, and he's been doing that all night.
You know, I'm beginning to see the corners and the safety for Irvine commit very early to the run. Now, that's maybe out of necessity to get guys to the point of attack, but it's also going to be time perhaps to see one of the Tustin tight ends on those vertical routes. They only have 2 pass plays, but boy, they can get you at a very inopportune time.
Frostee Rucker spins his way to the 40-yard line, and Bill, that's almost a habit with him. Once he gets hit, he spins. That's not a bad job of getting up the field and getting a couple more yards.
Plus, remember, 6'3" and 218 pounds.
Yeah.
If he spins and you only get part of him, you're probably not going to knock him down.
And you'll notice a smaller guy that will spin a lot. And, I watched one guy today on TV looking back at some of the classic highlights, and Barry Sanders, who can spin with the best of them. Where is Barry Sanders, and why isn't he playing football? 3rd and 2. Rucker once again. And this time he spins but doesn't get the first down unless he got the mark. And we'll see, because it looked pretty close to the first down, Bill, though. 3:05 to go in this first half. Brian Porteous, Bobby, you've got something on him.
Yes, Paul, Coach Hennigan said that Brian is the motivational leader on the team. He said he really loves this game, and he said it shows. It just comes out of him. He's vocal, and the kids really listen to him. He said during the week at practice, he's always just ready to play at practice. When it's time for the game, he's just ready to play for the game. He really loves this sport. Back up to you.
And it's showing. He's been all over the field. He's in on the quarterback, almost gets to the quarterback, and this pass intended for Rucker. A timely report, Bobby, because Porteous almost came up with a big play on the sack against Miller. And as Bill, as you said, 2 pass plays. Is that a 3rd one? Or is that the same
it's
one?
actually the same play with just one guy goes vertical, one guy goes to the sideline or the corner. And you can see Rucker waving his hand, say maybe I could come out for a play, because he doesn't even get back to the huddle. They just start walking to the line of scrimmage, and I'm sure somebody will say, hey, Frostee,
you're getting the ball.
Get the rest on this one.
We'll see if Miller keeps it, the quarterback. That's how they got a first down moments ago, and he does keep it. And the ball is in the air.
I think Irvine's got it.
And it was a second effort by Miller, and Rucker is resting on the 42-yard line, taking a breather, but on the bottom of the pile, Irvine says they have it, and they do. So the Vaqueros come up with it, and number 34, Andy Howe, he comes trotting off pretty excited because they come up with the football.
You know, if there's one thing, and I think Myron is always concerned about this too, he doesn't have a lot of guys on his team, so he's got a lot of great athletes playing both ways. At some point in time, 2 different waves of guys coming at you, one on offense and one on defense. Maybe the fresh guy wins in the 4th quarter.
And you see Andy Howe, he watched the ball come loose and he dove in there and got it. Otot with the quick pass, and there's some room if he can get to the outside. So Doomey barrels over, gets some good yards before he's knocked out of bounds. David Doomey, number 13, he's a senior, a leader on this team. And there are a lot of leaders. Brian Porteous is one of them, as Bobby mentioned, but David Doomey, Travis Otot, Peter Ave, you go down the list, Bill, there's all kinds of leaders, especially on the offensive line and the defensive line, too.
I'm looking in their game program, and I'll tell you, one of the leaders would be Travis Otot's mom, because she feeds the offensive linemen. And there's a picture in here, and I'd say the food bill would be ridiculous.
2nd and
nice
4.
Going, Mom.
Tustin jumps.
Oh,
no
boy.
penalty.
Paul, if they run a bootleg off of that action, and I think you may see him come back to that soon.
Going to Jack Egan at the top?
Yes, absolutely right. Egan was open up there, and also they had 2 receivers on that side. Number 80, Roger Kimmich was also in the route.
So 3rd down, 2 to go, and ball is incomplete, thrown out of bounds.
That is the pass they must complete, because it's one-on-one. The corner's giving him a little room because he's got to protect. He has no help deep. And so you've got to play catch on that little 8 or 9 yard sideline route, which I'm sure they can do.
So this will bring up a 4th down, 4th and 2. And with the ball on the 34-yard line, just shy of the 33.
Look how quick they attack the line of scrimmage.
2 receivers to the left side of the line of scrimmage. Otot's going to drop back, quick pass on the near side, and they're going to complete it for a first down. So they stop the clock with 1:47 to go, and right now we go right back to the same play, and they come up with the first down, and why not?
You know me, I thought repeating plays was fun, because I think part of that philosophy is, well, they came over here, they might not come back.
Yep.
That play was open a play ago, and I love this. This time Travis comes back and throws him a perfect ball. And again, you don't see anybody but the corner out there. He's all by himself.
1st and 10. Otai. The ball is on the ground. He's going to fall on it. That's a smart play.
Absolutely it is. Don't try and pick it up because those big guys are chasing you. You probably heard the footsteps.
Yeah, Travis Otai heard it, fell on the ball. And the important thing is Irvine still has it for them. 1:32 and counting to go. You got to start thinking about your field goal kicker too with the Irvine Vaqueros. So with 1:20 to go, it's 2nd and 17. We'll see if they're going to bring in a couple plays. Peter Abe comes in.
How about that? It's good to see him back.
He's trotting right back, and he did have his knee taped up.
Now you can see the back judge looking at his watch. Get the play off.
And they do. Doomy has it. He has some room also across the 25 inside down to the 23, Bill, and that was pretty good blocking up the middle.
What a good play call. A little reverse, and that gives them some hope because now the ball, it rests just, let's say the 23-yard line, and it's 3rd down, and we'll call it 6. And I think within Doomy's range for a field goal.
Well, you know, he did a good job, though. He was going to go outside on that play, and then he looked up the middle and saw a gap, and he took that gap in that lane, and he got a ton of yards.
There's the bootleg, and there's the open. Oh, is that dangerous? Oh, the other guy, Josh Short, is so wide open, Paul, and what he should do is tiptoe back to the huddle and not tell anybody, because if you jump up and down when you're wide open, everybody sees you. And I think they'll come back to it.
23 seconds to go, and we're 1 timeout left for the Irvine Vaqueros. So we know Doomy has a strong leg. There's no wind here right now, Bill. The conditions are perfect. The field isn't, I'm sure it's a little slick, but with a little grass on the field, it might help. Well, next game, it's Irvine Vaqueros and/or the Tustin Tillers taking on La Mirada and/or Newport Harbor in the CIF Division 6 Championship, and we'll be there next.
Well, that's going to be a beauty, whoever it is. These are 4 great football teams. John Neely's team at La Mirada has a great winning tradition, and boy, I'm tell you what, they're loaded this year. But Jeff Brinkley's Newport guys, I think they've only lost once. It's going
to be interesting to see how that one turns out tomorrow night.
They're going to put Doomy out there right now, not take any chances. And try and go for a first down.
A 41-yarder, Bill.
Yep, this is, I think it's within his range.
Holding will be number 88, Clayton Smith, with 23 seconds. Great snap. The kick, it's a low-line drive, but it's just a little too low. So they'll give up the ball with 19 seconds left on the clock. Dave Doomy, we'll see if he gets another opportunity in the second half. But right now, the Irvine Vaqueros with a 7-6 lead. And this has been an excellent first half. Not a whole lot of scoring, but boy, it sure has been a great job of watching 2 coaches do something really well, and that's coach.
I agree, Paul. It's a showcase for Myron Miller and Terry Hennigan and what they have done with their respective football teams. And perhaps, differing philosophies about offense or defense or whatever it is you're doing. But remember, if you're the coach, you get to do what you want. And I tell you what, you make your players believe in it, and then you just go.
This is where you have to be careful if you're the Irvine Vaqueros. And Tustin taking a knee, I'm a little surprised about that, but they have their own philosophy, and they'll do what it takes to win. They're going to go back into the locker room and talk about this. Coming up at halftime, Bill and I will go over the halftime highlights. I'm sure Bobby will try to talk to both coaches and get their thoughts. And then we'll look at the stats. But right now, it is 7-6. The first half has come to a conclusion. We'll be back with more of high school football right here at Irvine High School on the Game of the Week.
If television was like the internet, you probably wouldn't watch it. But what if the internet was more like TV? It is. With At Home, the internet at warp speed.
It's like instantaneous. As soon as you click onto a site, bam, it's there.
Using the same big cable that brings you television programming, you'll download up to 100 times faster than with a 28 8K modem. Call today to join more than 1 million subscribers and get the most complete internet service available for your home. Call now.
Hey, thanks a lot for calling Coach's Corner Live. What would you like to talk about this evening?
Great show. You guys do an awesome job. There hasn't season
Paul Higgins. Paul Higgins. Check us out live. On a great night for football, it's halftime as the Tustin Tillers and the Irvine Vaqueros are in a great matchup. 7-6 right now as the Irvine Vaqueros have the lead by 1. Hi, everybody. I'm Paul Higgins along with Bill Cunity, and welcome back to the Game of the Week. It is halftime, and Bill, when you take a look at these two teams, this is a fun game to watch.
Well, it is. It's a real battle in the trenches because Irvine has to commit 8 and 9 guys to the line of scrimmage to stop this power offense. And when Irvine has the ball, they have to attack it differently. They have to throw a little bit. They have to go on a quick count because Tustin is so physical. But it's, as you said earlier, a great matchup of two coaches, two different philosophies, and we have about 6,000 or 7,000 people here that are really getting a kick out of this.
Well, as we talked about earlier, the Tustin Tillers average 61 points a game. Tonight, they only have 6 points up on the board, and they did it in the second quarter. It was a scoreless first quarter, but then we moved to the second quarter. Tustin put on a great drive. It went 15 plays. They ran 14 running plays, 1 pass play, but this is how they get in.
Well, Frostee Rucker on the pitch, and you can see, as we have diagrammed on the virtual playbook, look at number 1, the quarterback, David Miller, makes the key block. But they can get 8 players at the point of attack when they run this offense.
Maybe the most important play was the point after attempt. They missed it, but then Godfrey Young, we talk about virtual playbook, virtually untouched for a 95-yard strike.
There's not a hand laid on him, which means that every guy on that kickoff team did his job. And that's been a Terry Hennigan trademark for a long time.
Well, the Irvine Vaqueros, they connect on the point after attempt, but they miss on this, a field goal with just seconds left in this first half. So that is the difference, a missed PAT by the Tustin Tillers at 7-6. I asked Bobby, I said, you know, we talked about what she's going to ask the coaches at halftime. I said, hey, can you ask Coach Myron Miller, is he going to do anything different in the second half that he hasn't done all season long? If you were the coach, would you stick with what got you here, or would you change it up right now?
Well, Darrell Royal, the old Texas coach, said you dance with the one that brung you, you know, great English. But anyhow, he can't change. These guys do this for a living. And when you say change, he's got 4 running plays and 2 passing plays. He has some formation changes he can use. But he's going to bank on the fact that these guys have lived in the weight room all year. They're a big physical football team. And eventually, laws of physics, they may wear this Irvine team down. Now, if you're the other coach, if you're Terry Hennigan, you're inside at halftime saying, see, I told you. We all put our pants on the same way. Maybe they jump into theirs, but we still put them on one leg at a time, and you're hanging in there with them. And there's nothing like belief for a football player. Just the belief that you can win can kind of get you through.
Well, as Bill said, we have a standing room only crowd here at Irvine High School, and I have the distinct feeling nobody's going to leave until this one's over with. When we come back, we'll have more of the halftime show and get the third quarter underway. 7-6 Irvine with the lead. We'll be back with more after this.
They're planning on building a toll road and destroying it all?
Let the school districts decide where they want to spend the money.
What do we have to gain by this if we're not going to have Melrose dismissed?
Under what basis consider El Toro Airport unsafe?
Is it true that Orange County is going to be the next Silicon Valley?
So Cox Digital Telephone sounds just as good as my local service?
Yeah.
I'll pay up to 30% less?
Absolutely.
Can I get low long-distance rates, too?
You bet.
And thousands of people are already using it?
True.
Switching is easy?
Sure.
Cool.
There are many great reasons to say yes to Cox Digital Telephone. Here's another.
Get guaranteed savings by signing up with Cox Digital Telephone. Service activation is free, so call today. 888-693-8820.
Cox Digital Telephone. Now you're living.
If the first half lends to a great second half, then we are in for a great championship game 1 week from tonight. But we have 2 quarters to play. Tustin and Irvine putting on a great show. And Bill, as you said, this is what high school football is all about. It culminates in games like this, and it reaches a whole new level at kickoff in a semifinal game.
Well, it does. And what you're seeing on the screen, you just saw down at the other end, Tustin's team gathered on the goal line, and they are talking over what they've accomplished, I'm sure, to this point in the season, and how one more half of football stands between them and a possible CIF championship. And down here on this sideline, the Irvine guys, they came out fired up because they have the lead. And it's not often that you see Tustin score 6 points and a half.
And it will be Tustin kicking off to Irvine in the second half. As Irvine won the coin toss, they deferred. And Bill, the reason for teams nowadays deferring as much as they are is what?
Well, I think sometimes in our coaches' meetings, I'd say, what do you guys want to do? And defensively, maybe you'd like to see what the other team comes out with. So you say, let's put our defense out there first. Then when we get the football at halftime, at least we've seen what they're doing on defense. We have some time to plan.
Kyle Dixon will kick it off, and there it goes. So the Irvine Vaqueros with the ball. It takes a drop on the 20. Irvine with the football, still with some room. Doomy, who has been doing a little bit of everything tonight. Take a look at the first half numbers for you, and I assume they're going to be somewhat even, as both teams did a great job. And you look at the first downs, though. Tustin with 9-4. And I guess I'm totally wrong, because 138 yards rushing the football to 56. Their turnovers, only one turnover. Total yards, 138 for Tustin. On there, Bill, is not the 95-yard touchdown return.
That's what you don't see. You see that the points that Irvine put up are on special teams. But I look at Irvine's balance. 56 run, 34 pass. And I think that balance is going to help them in the long run.
We'll see what they come out doing here in the second half of play. They have a man that goes in motion. Travis Otot is the quarterback. They try to go outside, but Tustin comes up with a very good play on defense. It's a good tackle made as they start the second half. Number 5 coming up with the play, Bill.
I think he's the best defender on the field. Matt McCoy, watched him on film, watched him in person. He is an outstanding football player.
And you would like to have him if you're a Division I, even a saddleback.
Take that guy, take Porteous, put him on both ends, and say, go ahead, play, guys.
That's right.
By the way, we saw Mrs. Porteous in the stands, and I said, does your son really ride bulls? And she said, yes, he does, but not for very long.
Yeah. Does anybody? 11:15 to go in this third, just underway. Travis Otot on a bootleg, and he's got a man open. And, Bill, you talked about a play similar to that, and here they come back.
That's the exact play. He had Josh Short open early in the second quarter. Remember, I told you, Josh said if he's open and he doesn't get it, walk back to the huddle quietly and say, hey, I think I'm open.
Yeah, and you know the coaches,
back to that play. You bet.
The coaches right below us.
They see it.
And the press box, they definitely see it. Otot with a good fake off the rollout. Throws a strike.
Well executed. Well executed.
So the ball resting on the 37-yard line. Otot with some time to throw. They suck him up. 1, 2 yards, 3 yards most on that first down play. That's Godfrey Young, who already has a 95-yard touchdown return.
Paul, if he could have taken that to the middle of the field, and that was, the flanker screen. Of course, when you're out there, it's easy for us to see up here, but Tustin really pursues the quarterback, which means they would probably be susceptible to the screen. If you're the quarterback, you just have to be willing to throw it from your back sometimes.
We're filled to capacity, over 5,500 people here tonight. Godfrey Young with a stiff arm getting tackled on the 40. Let's go down to Bobby.
Paul, I talked with the coaches coming out from halftime, and believe me, both sides of the team, they are very intense. Coaches only had a very minimum time to speak with me, but I wanted to say thank you for the time that they did take. First off, Coach Miller from Tustin, he said that they are not going to make any changes in the second half, that they're going to stick with what got them here, and basically they don't have anything else to go to. The main thing the coach said is with that kickoff return that was for a touchdown, if that hadn't have happened, they would be up. So they just feel they need to go on, get better on what they do. They said that he said they have not been staying with their blocks, so they want to do that better. And they also need to hit better and just basically step it up on offense. On the other side, Coach Hennigan said that they're not making any changes either. He didn't have much time because I got to him secondly, so he said, I don't want to be rude, but he needed to focus on the game. I also spoke with Peter Abbe at halftime on how his knee is feeling, and he said it's not feeling very good right now. Back up to you.
Thanks, Bobby, and good job. I know it's tough to get reports at halftime when the coaches are so intense, but we do want to thank the coaches again for stopping by and talking to Bobby, Coach Miller, and also Coach Hennigan. Both fine coaches in their own right. Two different styles, but as you can see, hey, it doesn't matter what style you have, as long as you know how to perfect your style.
I think Tustin right now feeling the effects a little bit of a lot of guys playing both ways, because Irvine has come out a little bit of a hurry up. They get a nice completion on a bootleg. They get a completion on a play where the defense just lost the guy.
That's
Josh
right.
Short got lost because the quarterback could hold the ball so long. But Irvine with a nice offensive game plan.
I want to welcome Tina Horspool, who stopped by at the Game of the Week, was the director of so many different football games on Channel 3, and there's a completed pass. A nice move by Doomey, just shunned him out of the way and gets another 8 yards after that move, and he gets inside the 30. Now you start thinking about how often has Tustin played from behind, and if Irvine can get in here, Bill, then you also look up the scoreboard one more time and say, you know what, we're not up 41-3. We're down right now, and not to say that that's where they're going, but sometimes it starts to enter the minds of the players.
Well, it does, and I'll tell you what, right now the execution of this offense by Irvine is just outstanding, and there's going to be a spearing call on Frostee Rucker.
Mike Brooks.
That's a big penalty because Brooks now, with the 6-yard completion, is going to add 15 to that.
And of course, that's right in front of the Irvine bench, so Tustin way on the other side of the field. Didn't get a close look on it. They'll see it on the game film.
Irvine's pass offense right now is really all you can do, I think, consistently against these guys. The bubble screen, the quick outs, a little play action. You're not going to have time to drop back and throw because the rush is too
Use of the helmet. First down.
Heard Mr. Turner explaining the penalty. First down and 10. 8:35 to go in the opening quarter here in the second half.
This is giving the Irvine defense a lot of rest.
And they need it.
There's Godfrey Young.
Down to the 6-yard line with a hesitation step almost in midair, and he dives to the 6.
If we get a chance to look at the virtual playbook and we'll show them the Irvine run, that was the play that we had diagrammed, that they're getting a lot of guys at the point of attack like Tustin, and Godfrey Young really doing his job. He and David Doomey kind of sharing the load, and Doomey playing fullback, and this is not a team that runs much two-back offense.
They can pick up a first down inside the 5 at about the 4-yard line, so they can pick up a first. It will be 3rd down and 2 yards to go for a first down. Coming back into the game for Irvine is number 8, of course, the quarterback Travis Otot, as he was talking to Coach Hennigan after that play. David Doomey is in the game. Wide to the right will be number 88, Clayton Smith. Bill?
Lyle Lansdale pointed out something. This drive has taken up 5 minutes.
Exactly.
That's a big plus for Irvine. They're in an unbalanced line right now.
Otot's going to pass to the near side, wide open. Touchdown.
Unbalanced play. I'll tell you what, Terry Hennigan pulled one out of his hat there. They went unbalanced. They left number 11 on the short side, Jon Lussier, and that is just good coaching because he lined up where the tackle normally lines up, Paul. They were unbalanced to the right. They put the remaining flanker guy in motion, and you see a pretty happy young man there. He's a 6'1", 185-pound senior, Jon Lussier, and Otot, when he threw it to him, the only fear you had was that it wouldn't come down. I mean, he just lofted it because there was not a soul around. That's a great play.
6-yard TD pass, and the point after attempt is no good. A huge play. The point after attempt no good. 13-6. Irvine has the lead. It went for 11 plays, 74 yards. Lussier goes in with the pass from Otot. We'll be back with more of the game of the week. Tustin touches the ball after this.
You find a good quality used car that won't cost you a fortune? Capistrano Car Company. Where are most cars under $10,000 and many under $7,500? Capistrano Car Company. Where can you find the nicest guys in town? Capistrano Car Company. When you want a good quality used car without having to deal with all the hype, go to Capistrano Car Company. Take the Avery exit off the 5 freeway. Head west 1 block. Turn left onto Camino Capistrano, and we're there, right next to In-N-Out Burgers.
It's your waiting room, your quiet zone, your way home. Keep it cool. Bring your car to the new Midas and let a pro inspect your air conditioning system, because it's hot out there. Now just $19.99. Cool. 'Cause that's how your life goes. We're a new Keep a good thing going. Go Midas.
Irvine with a 13-6 lead. The PAT no good. Kick wide to the left. Irvine kicks it off here on the 10-yard line. Tustin touches the ball for the very first time in the second half. Number 32 trying to find some daylight, and that's Marquise Malcolm. Malcolm still on his feet to the 25. Jon Lussier with the TD reception. Bobby, what do you have on that young man?
Well, Paul, the sidelines were going crazy when he caught that touchdown caught that pass for a touchdown. Apparently, this is the first time John has ever played. They call him Lucy on the sidelines, and they were understandably excited as he caught that pass. And they are quite fired up, the Irvine Vaqueros. My rear end, actually, I'm still feeling the sting from how fired up they are. Back up to you.
Thanks, Bobby, and look at this young man. That's what high school football is all about, regardless of the team you root for. To see a guy who really has not gotten a lot of playing time come in and catch a touchdown pass of this magnitude. Unless you've been there, you just have no idea how happy that guy is.
As you said, Bill, he was probably wondering when that ball was coming down. That was the longest, deepest, highest pop fly he's ever caught in his life. And it was only 11 yards. A good pass by Otay, and just a great call, as you said, Bill, by the coaching staff. Listening in here.
Terry's trying to decide right now what it is he wants to do off of that penalty. The ball is sitting on the 24-yard line.
Flag is all the way up to 40. Yeah.
Blocking below the waist.
Just a great crowd on hand.
They're going to kick it over, I think. Yeah, it looks like that.
So I want to thank all the people that came out to watch this
foul against the receiving team prior to their gaining possession. Re-kick by the green team.
And the green team, the Irvine Vaqueros.
Paul, while we have a chance, we want to thank our friends at Cutter & Buck for supporting us. Corinne, happy birthday to you, by the way. And she wanted me to mention that at Cutter & Buck at the shops at Mission Viejo, if you come in to their sale right now, if you spend $125, you'll get a $25 gift certificate. And if you spend $250 or more, you'll get a $50 gift certificate. So be sure and visit all the people at Cutter & Buck at the shops at Mission Viejo. When you say hi to Corinne and everybody there, and I'll tell you what, they just have the best clothes.
I have one of their jackets on tonight.
Great stuff.
You're going to kick it from the 45-yard line of Tustin. So you would assume, Bill, whose cough button?
Wait a minute. I think I pushed your cough button when I coughed.
That's okay.
Did you like it? Sorry, Bill.
They're going to kick it from the 45, so you'd assume that they're going to get it into the end zone. And then Tustin would have to take it at the 20, but...
Now, Tustin looks like they're thinking, hey, it could be an onside kick, which is pretty good thinking, because that would have been a pretty good time.
Kicks it 55 yards into the back of the end zone. So Tustin, and that was a good call by the Irvine Vaqueros as they give it to Tustin back on the 20. There was a game this year, Tustin lost. I believe it was 14-6 to Servite. Right now we've got a game of 13-6. So they've been here before. Let's see if they can come back. And you know, Bill, with a quarter and a half to go, they're going to score again.
Well, I'll tell you what, this one could be a barn burner at the end because they have just the pure physical ability to put up a lot of points in a hurry. Remember, what you just saw right there, if you look at the green jerseys, there are 11 green jerseys right where the ball ended up. Well, if you've got that many people attacking that point on the field, if you break out of that pile, Paul, there's just green grass and white stripes.
Miller averaging 8 yards a carry, and he with the pitch. And I think he likes working off the pitch, Bill. It seems like he gets most of his yards when he does get the pitch instead of like an inside handoff or a handoff off the middle. You give him a little bit of room, and there he goes.
Great penetration by Irvine. Great penetration. I'll tell you, the first guy that got through the line of scrimmage was number 22, Paul Yu, and he's the one that created the fact that the back had to loop outside, and then he had a lot of guys helping.
Irvine on defense, and we go to the Coach Q's virtual playbook, and this is the blitz package, Bill.
Now, when you see the guy go in motion on this play, you're going to see the players on Irvine attacking that side of the line of scrimmage, because in order for there to be the same number of players on offense and defense, you're going to have to commit someone out of the secondary. Right now, the corner came up and did the same thing. If you can get somebody coming up the field, like number 5 did again that time, Jorian Gwynn.
And Parker now.
And get a corner, you have a chance. And what you're doing is you're daring them to throw the ball. But you say, look, if you're going to put 8 guys at the point of attack, and here they come, led by the quarterback and the wingback, we're going to put 8 guys there too.
So they're going to have to punt for the second time in the last 6 games. Myron Miller does not punt the ball very often, and tonight he's been forced to punt it. This will be the second time. The first time they attempted a punt, they were called on a penalty because they weren't set up right, and now looks like they've got it under control.
Watch them come after this. Watch them come but watch the return.
And that was a good punt.
It's picket left. See if he can get to the picket. If he can get there, he might have it.
He's got some room. Great block down the sidelines.
There it is.
Number 7, Joe Bullard, and he goes in.
Paul, I'm telling you, it's so much fun to watch this up here because it's like a ballet. You saw them hit their guys, set up the picket, and I mean, it's unbelievable. Now, there is a flag resting on the 38-yard line down here that may bring this back. But I'll tell you what, I'd like to have a heart monitor going right now. I mean, that is just good coaching. They're going to call a clip, but I'll tell you what, maybe you don't need to score on offense. Maybe you can do it just on punt returns and kickoff returns.
That would have been a 60-yarder. If we have it, love to see it again.
Football.
You know, Paul, if you're going to go to a clinic this year, and you know, Lyle and I go to lots of them and stuff, if Terry Hennigan is speaking on punt returns and kickoff returns, you can fill the Coliseum.
On the run back, clipping against the receiving team, 15 yards from the point of the foul, first down for Green.
So Bullard gets it, and Bill, you take us through this because it was a wonderful job.
First, Bullard has to beat the first guy down. Now, look at the wall. You saw every green shirt had a guy. And here's the last block. And then, so the clip took place. And there's the single coverage again.
Man open, almost a great play by number 26, and that's Mike Brooks. He had to spin at the last second. He got his hands on the ball.
I tell you, that's all you can ask for is to get that one-on-one matchup and then just say, look, if we catch half of them, that's good enough.
That's right.
Travis Otot, I think, is playing a very good football game. We don't get to mention his name enough. I think he is kind of just a steadying influence on that football team.
13-6, Irvine Tustin. The winner goes on to the Division 6 CIF Championship game 1 week from tonight. And there's the catch and the run and the dive across the 45 down to the 44 by Mike Brooks as Tustin takes 1-2 guys to tackle. It does on Irvine too on the second effort because Irvine's showing you that, hey, you got to hit me once, but I'm not going to go down right away.
Well, again, I think Irvine doing a great job of attacking the corners, saying, look, you know, it's going to be tough, absolutely, to run against this 8-man front. But watch how quickly they attack this play. Wing, snap, power. And he gets the first down.
Across the 40 down to the 39 with 4:18 to go in the third. A punt return of 60 yards was just called back when Irvine scored and doesn't seem to faze him as Godfrey Young picks up the first. There's a good look at Terry Hennigan, also the athletic director. I want to thank Terry for taking time out the other evening and calling us at home and talking to Bobby. And it's coaches like that and people like that in this community that make our job so much fun. I want to thank them for taking the extra time. And you know, Coach Coonerty, as a coach and an athletic director, your plate is pretty full.
Look at this. Here they go again.
Dave Doomey broke a couple tackles. He cuts it inside. Boy, he has vision down the field. Gets down to the 21-yard line. Bill, some guys would take it up the sidelines, but he did a great job of cutting back into the middle.
He did, and I think the vision of a running back is what people can't appreciate. You can watch him and say, how did he see that? Well, the good ones see it, and maybe it looks like it's in slow motion to him, but Paul, I'm going to make maybe an analogy here. If you look at these two teams come up to the line of scrimmage, one team walks up like a steamroller, and they're going to just power you. The other one sprints up, and it's kind of like they're going to sting you like a bee. And those are two different kinds of philosophies. They both work. But I think Irvine right now is really trying to tire out the two-way football player. and Tustin has a lot of them, and I think that's a good strategy.
Mike Brooks with another reception. Travis Otot playing a great game. Coming off the field is Jack Egan for the Irvine Vaqueros. Setting up wide to the right will be Clayton Smith, the 5'11" senior at 150 pounds. Second down, 6 to go. Out of the eye, Otot with the second man through, down to the 15, and another couple of yards on what is a second effort by Godfrey Young.
You know, Paul, Irvine has not been a two-back offense for as long as I've known Terry, perhaps. But you do what you have to do, and that is sometimes you put a fullback in there, and you maybe go unbalanced sometimes, or 2 tight ends, and you try to just take advantage of putting a number of guys at the point of attack, which they're going to do right here. And there's the bootleg, and it's
Otot,
just it's a run. It's nothing else.
He's going to try to get the first down all his own and making a wonderful play. Number 5 is Matthew McCoy, and that's why he'll be playing Division I football.
That's not a guy you're going to fool very often, but I'll tell you, I think why they run it toward Matt McCoy's side of the field is he's so aggressive that he may bite on the fake. But while he does bite on the fake, look at this. That's why he's a good football player,
Speed.
his reaction time.
Look at his speed, Bill. He picks up a Travis Otot, who has a lot of fancy footwork and quickness to himself. He tries to extend the ball out to get another yard out of it. It is 4th down. They say 4th and 3. It looks like a short 3 yards for a first. Time is not a factor, and Irvine jumps, so it'll be 4th and 8. At this point, Bill, you back it up 5. Does David Dumey try a field goal attempt here?
This would be about the distance of the one he missed earlier.
Offensive team, 5-yard penalty.
I think Terry may run a play. I don't think he's going to try and kick a field goal here.
Travis Otot comes over to talk to Terry Hennigan.
Well, no, they are going to kick it. There goes Joe Ballard.
Joe Ballard's going to go out, and Dave Dumey gets a towel from the ball boy. And he goes back out, and he'll have a moment to think about this. It will be about 35 yards, just over 35, and he'll kick it from the right hash mark. No wind. The goalposts here at Irvine are not extended too far in the air, and they'll back it up another 5 because of a delay of game.
Oh boy.
Delay of game on the offense. Replay 4th down, 5-yard penalty.
You know what a big kick this is? To have a 16-6 lead, and really it's going to be, there's just 1 minute and 13 seconds left in this quarter. Having a 10-point lead against a football team like this going into the 4th quarter would be huge. But now you're asking him to kick a 42-yard field goal.
I was just looking at Dave Dumey. He said, let me do it. Let me kick this thing. He was looking over to the coaching staff and said, I can make it. The snap, the kick, it is long enough, and it looks like it's good, and it is. How about that for confidence? David Dumey strikes from 46 yards out.
I'll tell you what, Terry's walking out there to talk to that team and say, look, fellas, this next kickoff, you don't know how critical it is. Do not let them run this ball back.
How many ways can you save family?
It's all about family at the second happiest place on earth.
Crowds and cars go together when you're shopping at the mall. So lose the crowds and come to San Juan Capistrano, Orange County's original destination for shopping and dining. In San Juan Capistrano, you'll experience friendly service, quality shopping, convenient parking, and a bit of history. So come to San Juan Capistrano. We're easy to get to. Just take Junipero Serra, Ortega Highway, or Camino Capistrano exits off the I-5. Shop and dine San Juan. You'll discover why the Swallows aren't the only ones coming to San Juan Capistrano.
To the penalty, David Dumey looked over to Terry Hennigan and said, Coach, give me a shot at it. I think I can make it. 41 yards out, and he does make it. So it brings the score to 16-6, and remember, a 60-yard punt return for a touchdown was called back. before that drive even got underway. So Irvine did a good job of using up the clock. Tustin has only had the ball about 1 minute of this second half.
That's not something, well, they may be used to not having it very long, but they normally score a lot.
Yeah, and their defense comes out and stops, and they turn around and get the ball back. But with 1:02 to go in the third, 16-6 is the score. Irvine with the lead. They have led since the 4:48 mark of the second quarter, when their PAT was up good. So the PAT proved large in this game. This is Coach Myron Miller. I want to thank you for watching the Game of the Week right here on Channel 3. And tonight's Game of the Week is being brought to you by Family Toyota, the second happiest place on earth. Also by Airlift, the scissor lift specialist. Give them a call today, 1-800-266-LIFT. And by our proud sponsors of our players of the game, Laguna Surf and Sport. They feed our crew week in and week out. Located in Mission Viejo is a stuffed pizza and brewing company. Our crew says it's the best pizza around. And if they've been eating it for 13 weeks, they still love it.
That's right.
A good testimony. So, Bill, I thought that we might come into this game and see a super high score of maybe 45-41. First half, no scoring in the first quarter, 2 scores in the second, and here Irvine scores in the third. It's a totally different game point-wise than what we thought.
Well, I think traditionally, if you look at the CIF playoff, scores obviously get lower. There's the quarterback counter.
And one thing about the quarterback, Bill, when he does hand it off, when he does pitch it, he becomes a blocker.
He is. He's the total football player. But, Paul, traditionally in the playoffs, the plays get, or scores get lower as you go into the season. This is the Tustin sweep again. There's the pitch. And again, we'll show you how many players they can present at the point of attack. Inside that little yellow circle there, you see 8 Tustin football players. Frostee Rucker leaves the field momentarily, and they put Matt McCoy in his position.
Frostee stretching out his leg over there. Diaz.
There's McCoy, and oh my goodness, Ballard.
Wow.
Those are 2 pretty good football players running into each other.
Just some great contact football tonight on the high school level. Joe Ballard with 39 solo tackles coming into tonight's game. We take a look at it once again. Matt McCoy, one of the best players physically on the team, and look at the hit by number 7. Part of that 7 is still left on the jersey of Matt McCoy.
How about this?
The end of 3, Irvine with the lead, 16-6. When we come back, the final 12 minutes to see who will make it to the Division 6 CIF Championship game a week from tonight.
Hi, I'm Gino, and this is my father Luigi, and together we own and operate Ristorante Agostino and Cocktail Bar in Capistrano Beach. We specialize in pasta, seafood, veal, and chicken, and if you're looking for Italian food like Mama used to make, come see Papa Luigi at Agostino's. We're located in Capistrano Beach, 1 mile south of Dana Point Harbor on Pacific Coast Highway. If you're looking for Italian food like Mama used to make, come see Papa Luigi at Agostino's. Right, Dad?
Yeah, what are you waiting for?
Crowds and cars go together when you're shopping at the mall. So lose the crowds and come to San Juan Capistrano, Orange County's original destination for shopping and dining. In San Juan Capistrano, you'll experience friendly service, quality shopping, convenient parking, and a bit of history. So come to San Juan Capistrano. We're easy to get to. Just take Junipero Serra, Ortega Highway, or Camino Capistrano exits off the I-5. Shop and dine San Juan. You'll discover why the Swallows aren't the only ones coming to San Juan Capistrano.
Welcome back to the Game of the Week. 12 minutes to go here at Irvine High School. You're watching the semifinal game of Division 6 CIF. I'm Paul Higgins, Bill Cunardy, and Bobby Higgins working the sidelines. Our producer-director, Marcus Williams, in the truck, along with Joe Marks and the entire crew. Bill Fennell, our engineer tonight. Eric Winter on stats and Chiron. And graphics, James Covarrubias doing stats. Gordon Spencer doing the audio, and some great camera operators who have honed their skills over the last 12 weeks of the season, and we thank you guys for hanging in with us. But we have 1 more week to go, and it's going to be a fun one. 11:55 to go in the 4th quarter of play. Irvine in green, Tustin Tillers in white. And I want to say the Irvine band performed just beautifully at halftime. They don't get enough credit. They did a great job, and congratulations to them. 1st and 10 for Tustin. Going back to pass, Miller is going to be brought down from behind. And Bobby, number 77, Nick Gasper for Irvine. What's the report on him?
A few plays ago, Paul, Nick came off the field complaining that he could not breathe. He was shortness of breath, and they don't know why he had it. Maybe perhaps it was a panic attack. Apparently he was the one that jumped offside a few plays back before that field goal attempt, and then the team came down on him really hard. So he's feeling fine now, but for a few moments there, he was having trouble breathing. Back up to you.
Thanks, Bobby. Appreciate that. And number 77, a very good player, Nick Gasper. And the kid's taking it to heart. Getting out to the right side, number 44, Frostee Rucker. And at the end of the 3rd quarter, he was the last man down, making it back to the huddle because he had cramping come up on him.
We saw the same thing with Richard Miller, number 28. And boy, I tell you, Paul, when you play hard, it's just like when you were a wrestler. If you go, you know, 3 3-minute periods, people say, it's only 9 minutes. Give it a try. You know, out here you're playing. If you play, some of these guys have played almost every down of the football game.
That's right. 3rd and 9. Huge play. They like to go for it on 4th down, but let's see if they make it here. They go back to the counter, the pitch, and in the counter they work it to the other side, right in front of Tustin's bench. So Bill, 4th down. They haven't been tremendously successful tonight on 4th down plays. You're down 16-6. You're down by 10. What do you do if you're Myron Miller here?
Well, it's a big decision because, you know, Irvine just ran off a 7-minute drive. If they do that again, the game's over.
That's
so
right.
Right now, I think Myron is perhaps in a quandary. He's talking to his son, David, and I think that they've wasted enough time right now. They're going to go for it. Yep.
You say they have to get the play off pretty quickly. Irvine is saying on their sidelines to get up for the crowd and have the crowd stand up, and they're doing that. Standing room only crowd tonight. They're going to pass. And overthrown. Rucker couldn't get his big left hand on it. So this gives Irvine the ball in great field position. And Irvine hustling to the ball just in case it was not a live ball.
Let me tell you what, that is a wrinkle. I think that's a play that you don't see Tustin run very often. And if the pass is not thrown quite that far, it's a brilliant play. They look downfield and just toss it to the motion guy.
Miller
just a little bit over his head, yeah.
Not a bad play to try. And you know what, Bill? If they complete that, it's more than a 1st down. He's up the field. He's across midfield easily.
I think that Irvine right now starting to feel a little bit more confident about their ability to run the football, which is
trips to the near side.
Look at this.
Dave Dumey, he's got a lane. Dumey down the sidelines. He's at the 10, and he's out of bounds. Wow, what a play by Dave Dumey.
I think they're taking advantage of the fact that Tustin has great athletes that really react quickly, and so when they start to flow to one side, this is a cutback. Watch this. See him take it back to the left side on a play that looked like it should go right. Look at those blocks. Oh, you got to give the big dog some credit in there.
Dave Dumey gets it inside the 10, so it'll be 1st and goal with 9:56 to go in this game. 16-6 is the score.
Remember, we said Mrs. Otot.
Godfrey Young.
Mrs. Otot feeds those guys every week. They must have had something good this week.
Whatever she fed them tonight, make sure you duplicate it next week. And we could have a rematch from a year ago.
Oh, my.
La Mirada plays Newport Harbor tomorrow night. Well, that ought to be a good game. What do you pick in that one, Bill?
I tell you what, that's the matchup of La Mirada's speed against Newport's physicalness. Yeah. So that's going to be a heck of a game. I'd love to see an Irvine-Newport rematch, you know, or a Tustin-Newport rematch.
Otot on the bootleg. He's got a man. Actually had 2 of them over there, but a good defensive play by number 36 for Tustin, stand with the play, and that's Carlos Ramirez. So Ramirez makes a touchdown-saving tackle. Otot with a good rollout, Bill, off the bootleg, and he throws a strike.
He does, and I think at this point right now, Tustin has to make a stand here. They've got to come up with either a turnover or a big, big play, because if Irvine scores another touchdown, just simply by the nature of Tustin's offense, it's going to be hard to play catch-up.
Dave Doomey already nailed a 41-yard field goal moments ago. The quick snap, Godfrey Young off the left side, and he can't get a first down, but he can get pretty close to the goal line on that play, so he'll be 4th and just shy.
Tell you what, that is right on the, we're going to call that the 2, no, maybe the 1.5.
Bill, you know what I think Irvine's doing a good job of, too, right now? I don't see him down there immediately, but Peter Abe, who hurt his knee earlier, is not playing right now. And
he's a cheerleader. Doing a great job.
And they are doing a good job of not making him play, because as Bobby said, he does have an injured knee.
There's the big play on defense.
Godfrey Young tried to go in. It was 4th down. Still a 10-point lead.
Frostee Rucker that time came up big. Couple guys on the interior of that defense. Number 43, James Kuklinski, also with an excellent play. Now, if you're Myron Miller's guys, that's huge.
Yeah,
I mean, that is a huge play. 8 minutes left in the game.
You got to score twice, Tustin does.
You do, but I'll tell you, if that guy gets in the end zone, that the game's over. So a nice defensive stand by the Tillers.
Frostee Rucker with the touchdown saving tackle. He takes a quick break. He doesn't come off the field very often. And tonight, a punishing game by both teams. Great hits on both sides of the ball. For some reason, Irvine looks fresher, though. They really, even though they have the lead, they still look fresher. And there's the pitch. Number 84, first time we've seen him run the football, Christopher Chester, Bill. He's a fine football player.
Well, when you look at people who are going to be recruited, Chris Chester at 6'4" and 230 pounds is going to be recruited by a lot of people.
Got a lot of marks on his hat for a good reason.
In the game this time also number 9 at tight end, Chris Barrett, the sophomore, 6'5", 220-pounder. Number 9 right there in your picture.
7:35 and counting to go in this game. Tustin led it 6-0, but they only led it 6-0 for about a minute because Irvine came back with a 95-yard kickoff return by Godfrey Young. They made the point after attempt, and from there they've had the lead. They've added a touchdown and a field goal since.
You know, this guy, number 5, Jorian Gwynn, has played the game of his life.
Sure has.
He has forced this sweep to go outside 3 or 4 times. He has turned it back in where he's got some help, but that time the play lost about 3 yards because of just solely his responsibility of getting outside the widest blocker.
And you look at Joe Ballard sucking it up. He was grabbing his left hand. They stand in the game, obviously in pain. He's played a great game.
There's the fullback. They give it to whenever it looks like Rucker's going to get it. They can pop it inside there.
If you were to tell Irvine that at the end of 3 and into the 4th, you would have held Tustin to 6, they would have said, you're nuts.
That's right.
We might win the game, but we're not going to hold them to 6. Well, that's where they're at right now.
I'll tell you what, the enemy right now of the Tustin Tillers is the clock. Yeah. It's 6:20 and counting. And Paul, J.C. Clark has just really come up with a marvelous plan. It is 4th down and 3 yards to go, and I think this is the football game.
They have to go for it. They need 2 scores to tie. If they got a touchdown and a field goal, then I don't think they're going to get it. And they're not. They're going to give the ball right back to Irvine. So Irvine wins on defense like they have been since the first quarter. Going to give a game ball to somebody.
I'll tell you what, you might give it to 2 coaches standing over there, Terry Hennigan and J.C. Clark. J.C. has been with Terry for a couple of years now, and he's the guy that's kind of masterminded the defense they've run. But what they've been running is the old Bear 46. He said he got it from a clinic. He went to Oklahoma State, learned it from Buddy Ryan's son. Wow. But you know what? They're not playing it tonight. They can't because of the offense. He went to a 6-2, one of the oldest defenses in football, and he's just making it work.
Clayton Smith lines up wide to the right. Godfrey Young going to stretch it out. He goes head to head. Just shy of a touchdown, and that would definitely seal it.
And I think what you see, a couple guys there, number 42 right now for Tustin, Steve Diaz, trying to stretch out. Looks like he's cramping up a little bit. And boy, I tell you what, it's tough when you're playing a complete football game, both sides of the ball. And you've got to give those Tustin kids a lot of credit for a phenomenal year and what they've accomplished. But right now, it looks like perhaps the freshness of a 2-platoon thing is perhaps working to Irvine's advantage.
5:53 to go in this 4th quarter. Irvine Vaqueros with the 16-6 lead. Once again, you're watching the Game of the Week right here on Channel 3, and we appreciate you doing that. Tonight's Game of the Week is being brought to you by Cox and Demand. It's like having your own blockbuster movie right in your, it's like having your own blockbuster movie library right at your fingertips, and you never have to rent, rewind, or return again. I was thinking about you there, Eric Winter. Also by Family Honda, the proud sponsors of our pregame show, and by AAA Auto Care, located across the street from Home Depot in Mission Viejo. And finally, by the great city of San Juan Capistrano. You can find them on the web at www.sanjuancapistrano.org. So 1 week from tonight, it should be the Irvine Vaqueros in the CIF finals. They'll either play La Mirada and or Newport Harbor. But Tustin, if they have anything to say about it, they'll take care of business here in the next 5:53, but the odds are not in their favor. Irvine hustles to the line of scrimmage. Godfrey Young takes it again, and he gets in, and that should seal it. Godfrey Young with a touchdown. He adds that to the one he got in the second quarter off a 95-yard kickoff return, and it looks like the Irvine Vaqueros are returning to a CIF championship.
Well, I tell you what, that is a marvelous football game we've had a chance to watch. There's 5:50 left. It's not over by any stretch, but I'll just tell you what, I think the Tustin kids have so much to be proud of what they've accomplished this year. And they have a lot of kids on that football team that are going to go on and play Division I football. Yeah, this Irvine bunch has really done something special. They are undefeated. And I'll tell you, their defensive football team, I don't care how big they are something to watch.
23-6, it's coming to an end. 5:50, we'll be back with more right after this.
Yes, sir, your belt's got holes in it. Smokey, your car does need a new battery. Hey, come on, Smoke. Wait, sue me, I'll sue you. Used tires are $100 a piece, 4 of them for $500. That's right.
Orange County, you've been to the rest. Now it's time to come to the best. Bridgestone Tire of Mission Viejo.
We can do a tune-up or an overhaul, whatever you want.
Stuffed Pizza and Brewing Company's been voted best family dining in San Diego.
Or the salads. Great food, great beer, and the kids love the games.
Or the appetizers.
The pasta.
For the Mug Club.
The best pizza in town.
That's right. For the 6th straight year, we've been voted the best pizza in San Diego.
I love Loose Cannon. It's got tons of garlic, lots of great fresh tomatoes, and a great crust.
Stuffed Pizza and Brewing Company.
Now in Mission Viejo, near the corner of Alicia and Violinda, 1 block east of Geronimo.
Well, we checked in with the Irvine Vaquero mascots a little while ago, and I think they're even more happier now than they were, because now they're up 23-6 with 5:50 to go in the game, and it's been a tremendous high school football game. Whoever wins this one really played good football. Taken on the 2-yard line, Tustin averaging 61 points a game, and a great tackle made. And that's number 80 for the Irvine Vaqueros coming out of nowhere, Roger Kimmich, to slow down number 24 on that play.
You know, we had a chance to see the lovely young lady who owns the Lone Star Steakhouse down there. We talked to her for a minute, and she said, you know, there's someone wanted to say hello to you. And I said, who's that? She said, my father-in-law is Joe Rocher. And I thought, holy cow, what a small world. Joe Rocher was the principal at South Torrance High School when I was at North Torrance. And that's a long time ago, but it's a small world.
As I said, everybody knows Bill. 5:44 to go in the game. They need to score 3 times. And besides the first carry of the game, Bill, there's been no major breakaways from the line of scrimmage by Tustin tonight.
Well, that tells me one thing, that the people in the secondary have done a good job of tackling, because you can't expect those front 8 guys to make every play. What they have done a great job of is getting the blockers out of the way. Say, look, if you're going to get blocked, okay, great, don't stay blocked, but if you can make a pile at the line of scrimmage and make these guys run around the pile, perhaps you've done your job.
Flag on the play. They'll back Tustin up 5 yards.
You know, the other day, really, when I talked to Terry Hennigan,
Only 6 on the line of scrimmage. Replay the first down, 5-yard penalty.
I saw a look in his eye, you know, and a little bit of it was concern. I mean, deep concern. He said, you know, we haven't been challenged like this maybe since the Carson Palmer Santa Margarita guys.
Yeah.
And what that does to a coaching staff, though, sometimes is just pump them up, and then they have to come up with a big plan, and it looks like they came up with a big plan.
There's just nowhere for Miller to go, Bill. He tries to set up for the pass, and Irvine with a good pass rush gets in his face.
If we have a chance to show the virtual playbook, that is the pass, the one that we have described. Both tight ends go vertical. That's what he was looking for, but they were both covered.
See Miller here, he has a little bit of time, but his receivers is so well covered down the field. And Miller gets tackled. Parker now playing a good game. Bobby, what do you have on Parker?
Anxiety going around, or we brought back the stomach flu from Mexico, because Parker was just getting sick a few moments ago on the sidelines, and I asked the coach next to him. He said, well, it's just a lot of everything. He said basically he does this every game, though. So they are very, very excited about this game. Back up to you.
Bobby, I'm the only one, I think, out of 25 of us that went down to Mexico that didn't get sick. Well, your dad didn't get sick. There's your...
All right, here's a good look at the Tustin pass, and you'll see the quarterback puts the man in motion, and then as he drops, you can see both those backs block for him, and it's a 3-man route. The 2 key guys are the tight ends vertically down the field, but Irvine has covered those guys all night.
3rd and 9. And there's a little bit of a seam, and a shoestring tackle made. Otherwise, into the end zone, it would have been a foot race.
Dan Bueschow that time did what Tustin has done 4 or 5 times tonight, and that is the last guy who can possibly make the tackle makes the tackle. And Richard Miller's thinking, hey, wait a second.
What do I need to do here?
That's right.
Well, he got loose on the first play of the game. But here, as you'll watch, be a good shoestring tackle from behind.
Look at the effort by Bueschow. That's great.
So 1st and 10, 3:37 to go in the game. Bill, it's going to be tough to come back from behind when you're a running team.
Right.
We're going to have to pass the ball sometime.
But, you know, you're thinking, too, you know, we break long runs all the time. That is our home run,
right.
is this little sweep play, and then you just break it for 50 yards. And with 3:16 left, we've seen that happen. You know, we've seen games like that where a team could explode. And if you look at Irvine's defense now, JC has changed this defense during this series because they now have 4 defensive backs. They're playing a little bit more of a 6-1 look.
Yeah.
And you can see that kind of an umbrella shape to the secondary. And all that is fellas, don't let anybody get behind you.
Oh!
You know, there's the guided missile. Look at that.
Joe Bullard came out of nowhere.
McCoy almost broke that for a touchdown. Now Bullard is hurt.
Yeah, he came in.
I think it's that wrist or hand or
right
something.
hand he was definitely holding.
He's a tough guy.
Sure, it certainly is. Matt McCoy, another tough guy. But they get the first down. Watch number 7 come in from the side of your screen. He just comes in, as you said, like a missile. There he is. He gets a shoulder.
Look at that.
Man.
I think those are the 2 best defensive football players on the field. One just happened to be carrying the ball, McCoy and Bullard. And, you know, Terry told me the other day, I said, gee, I want to watch Bullard block another punt. He said, he's not gonna. I said, really? He said, no, he's returning them now.
Well, Zach Taylor, even though his helmet comes off, makes a tackle. There's a good look at Joe Bullard. If his jersey wasn't green, it would be green if they had their road jerseys on, because he's been all over this field. Grass stain or not. Miller is going to be brought down. There's going to be no pass play on that. Brian Porteous comes in. Now 6 foot tall, and inspiration, as Bobby said, the team looks up to him for inspiration.
I think that when you're in this situation like David is, and you have to throw the ball, this is not something they do a lot. So, you know, you're in an uncomfortable situation. And the secondary guys, that time David Doomey was responsible for the tight end running down the field, Chris Chester. And you can see the secondary is getting deeper. I'll tell you what, I'd love to coach a guy like that one right there, Porteous, and I think Bullard is something very special too.
Miller back to pass. He's rushed again. He gets out of it, and he's going to take a hit.
Let me tell you what, Number 3, Zach Taylor.
They better leave some of these hits for next week. Goodness gracious. 3 and 34 in there, Zach Taylor, Bill, and also number 34, Andy Howe, who's played a wonderful game. We could hear that from where we are. As Miller gets loose, 34 will come in and lay a lick on Miller. And if we were to replay sound, Bill, 34 and there was 3.
Whoa,
it was Taylor.
Yep, Zach Taylor. That's a collision right there. It's nice to see David walking back to the huddle.
And it's good to see kids that know how to tackle correctly. Yep. And instead of going in with their head down, get that head up, square your shoulders up. Well, 1 week from tonight, I do believe it's a Friday night game. There's a good look at Myron Miller talking to his offensive unit who have scored so many points this year for him. But 1 week from tonight, I do believe, as I said, it's a Friday night. It will be Irvine taking on either La Mirada or Newport Harbor.
That's going to be a dandy. That's going to be a beauty. Now, they've staggered these semifinal games, as you noticed. Tonight's Irvine and Tustin. Tomorrow night is Newport Harbor La Mirada. Same thing for the Division I finals. Yep. There's one game tonight. Last weekend, I did go watch Edison High School play Loyola. My old friend Steve Grady is a coach at Loyola, and that was a packed house at Orange Coast.
I want to say also, you please go to the game, because we show the game on tape delay. And we'll show the game at 11 o'clock that night, the CIF championship game, and again the next day at 1 p.m. and then at 8 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, respectively. So make sure you go to the game, whether it's raining, snowing, beautiful night, whatever. Make sure you go to the game, because the schools actually split the proceeds that night. So it's important that you reward them by showing up. And we also pay a rights fee to cover that game. And so that fee also goes to the school. And it's important, again, that if you can go out to the game and support these teams that are in the final, do so, because this is the time of year that they have earned it. Up the middle, for a first down and more, Matt McCoy.
Tough football player. And again, right now, I look at some of these guys that have been hitting each other for so long, they're just worn out, Paul. But we'll have some more virtual playbook next week. Whoever we get a chance to cover, we'll have some more Irvine stuff, obviously, and a little deeper insight into what each of these teams are trying to do.
Certainly.
We'll have some fun with that.
I want to thank Bill, you and the ladies for coming down to Coach's Corner. You guys have been on TV this past week. Wonderful job.
Thanks for having us.
Conference champions.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
And congratulations goes out to the Lisa Nagel girls golf team also for winning all of their championships this year, the individual championships and just the team championships. They did a great job.
They did. Wayne Wessling and his group, they finished, I think they finished third in the state championships, which is just unbelievable, and they're going to be better next year. But if I might say one little thing here, Paul, Dr. Keith Calkins, who's been our athletic director at Saddleback since 1980, retired yesterday.
Did he really? I didn't know
he'll
that.
be moving up to Northern California, and so we want to wish him lots of luck. And we want to congratulate Myron Miller and his football team, congratulate Terry Hennigan and his guys, and boy, I tell you what, they put on a show tonight.
And Myron Miller, with a lot of class, runs out there and shakes the hands of the Irvine Vaqueros, and a standing ovation on both sides of the field. Myron Miller and Terry Hennigan shake hands on the center part of the field there. So we want to congratulate the two coaches on a fine coaching job, and the players. It's the players that play and the coaches that coach, and tonight everybody did a fine job of that. The final score 23-6. When we come back, we'll have the players of the game and much more right here on Channel 3.
Buy 10,000 on the open. Let's go with it.
You are a beautiful butterfly.
Okay, guys, let's get ready to roll some tape.
Come on, guys. Let's do this.
Dan Marino, definitely ready for his first season on Inside the NFL.
Lenny, it's going to be a long year.
Ready to get interactive? Visit www.cox.com and log on to a new interactive shopping experience from Cox Communications. Go places only you can go for services especially for you. View your current charges, screen pay-per-view clips for larger-than-life action adventure, and browse the upgrade center for just the right additions to your viewing entertainment. Take control of your entertainment. You know the address, www.cox.com.
Now you're living.
The Irvine Vaqueros will advance to the Division 6 CIF final 1 week from tonight as they defeat Tustin tonight 23-6. It was a great game. Tustin took the early lead, but Irvine comes back and scores 23 unanswered points. Our players of the game, Laguna Surf and Sport, proud to present Richard Miller from Tustin and Joe Bullard from Irvine, two fine athletes, and they're standing by right now with Bobby. Bobby?
Thanks, Paul. Richard Miller on my right. He actually goes by Ricky, and I appreciate you taking the time to come out. This is his first interview. Ricky, were you surprised, or what was it that Irvine did that was able to slow the run for you guys?
I mean, they're not a big team, but they're quick, and they do their assignments, and they're just real tough. And no one's been able to stop us like that this year, and we're surprised. We didn't think they were going to come out like that. But we stuck to it. We played our hardest, and they're just a good team. They deserved it.
Well, I know you guys aren't going to get to go to the CIF championship game now, but there's you guys are league champions. What are you going to take away from this year?
I wouldn't take nothing. I don't regret nothing. I don't regret nothing. We had a great season, and I'm just going to come back next year, play hard, you know.
All right, well, we'll look forward to seeing you again next year, Ricky. We have for you, you're our player of the game on the Tustin sidelines. Congratulations, and good job on your first interview.
Thanks.
All right. On my left here is Joe, and Joe, first off, your lip, that happened very early in the game. Did that have any effect on you other than I know you were just trying to make sure it would stop bleeding?
No, it was just, you know, I just had to deal with it. Just one of the things when you play football is just what happens.
Now, one of the things coming into this game was Coach said you guys needed to hang physically, and obviously you did that. Was it, you know, how physical was it out there on the field?
We just played our hardest. We had to fly around to the ball because, you know, we're not the biggest team, but, you know, we just all flew around and it paid off.
Towards the end of the game there was a huge hit by number 6, and everybody on the sideline started saying, I remember passing scrimmage. Tell us, what does that mean?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't like to live in the past, you know, but I know passing scrimmage, it was just one of those days, you know.
Was it important, even more so than getting to the CIF championships, to beat the Tustin team?
Yeah, well, we really didn't look forward to the CIF finals. It was just mostly preparing for this game and not looking forward and just giving it all on this one.
All right, well, good luck to you next week. Anything, how does this game prepare you now for getting to that last game?
It gives us a big head of steam, you know. We're just going to come into this game and we're going to play our hardest.
Well, good luck. Are you hoping to see Newport Harbor next week for revenge of last year?
Whatever team wins, you know, we'll just take them on.
All right. Well, congratulations, Joe. We have for you a sweatshirt here, player of the game.
Thank you.
Awesome job.
Thank you very much.
All right. That's here on the sidelines. Let's go back up to you, Paul.
Nice job, Bobby, and thanks to Ricky also for coming out. We will get to see him one more year. Ricky Miller, and there's Coach Hennigan, and he's going to live the moment. But you know what? Tomorrow morning he'll be watching game film and getting his team ready for whoever they face 1 week from tonight. He'll get an opportunity to see that game. You know, Coach Terry Hennigan and his staff and his boys will be at the La Mirada game as they take on Newport Harbor. It was a fun one. The final score 23-6. Bill, your closing thoughts on this one?
I'll tell you what, all week long I was so excited for this to get here because two great football teams, two great coaches, two guys that believe in separate systems, but boy, do they coach it up. And you've got to be thrilled for Myron Miller and his team and what they rang up this year. You have to really be thrilled for that guy right there because Terry Hennigan's been doing this for a long time. Both he and Myron have been, they're just veteran, great coaches.
That's right.
But he's taken a team that doesn't have much size, but you remember, you can't weigh the hearts. And
exactly.
I think that they would love nothing more than to get that CIF championship that eluded them last year by a point.
23-6 is the final score. We want to thank both coaches, both schools, for working with us tonight on the Game of the Week. We appreciate all of your help. For Bill Cunardy, for Bobby Higgins, for Marcus Williams, our director, producer of the Game of the Week, and our entire staff that do such a fine job week in and week out, I'm Paul Higgins. Thanks a lot. The final score, Irvine 23, Tustin 6. 1 week from tonight, it's the CIF championship game. Hey, thanks a lot for calling Coach's Corner Live.